The Honorable the Speaker.
We shall now have the opportunity for silent prayers or meditation. Thank you very much. We can all be seated. Thank you very much, honorable members. Item 2 up to item 6 will not be part of the session today. We shall move to item 7, orders of the day. 7.1, second reading presentation of budget votes and schedules of Limpopo appropriation bill B02-2023. 7.1.1, we shall call upon the NEC for Transport and Community Safety to present the budget.
Legislature, our Deputy Speaker, Honorable Matipe, the Executive Council members, under the leadership of our Premier, Honorable Chief Matawata, the Chief Whip of this August House, Honorable Isok Mokonyan, and the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Apostle Mchani, the Chair of Chairs, Honorable Munyama Isara, and the Deputy Chairs of Chairs, Honorable Silani, members of the Portfolio Committee on Transport and Community Safety, led by Honorable Mercy Ono, the Leader of Opposition, Honorable members of this August House, HOD of the department and senior managers, the management of the South African Police Services under the stewardship of Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Tembika Debe, of course led in this House by Deputy Provincial Commissioners. The Chairperson of the Board at the Gateway Airport Authority Limited, and the President of Trucking Association of the South African Council of Churches, led by Reverend Hafela, and the leadership of the department's fraternal organizations, the South African National Taxi Association, the National Taxi Alliance, the leadership of the South African National Small Bus Operators Council, the provincial chairperson of the Community Policing Forum, together with the provincial secretary and the leadership of the provincial community safety forums, our esteemed guests and government officials in the gallery, the people of our beloved Limpopo province who are assisting this sitting through various platforms, members of the media, blessed morning to all of you. Honorable members, this budget vote presentation and many others that preceded it follow the resolute state of the province address. The address by Premier Matabata did not only command the tone for government's activities for the next 12 months, but it was a resilient policy prescript upon which all departments must align their programs of action. Honorable Speaker, the different orations that are presented in this August House are a meticulous preservation of the African National Congress visionary leadership of delivering a better life to the people of this country and to the people of this province. We will continue to use the legislature as a site of the struggle for the advancement of the lives of our people. We remain greatly indebted to the people of this province who continue to demonstrate their firm trust and belief in the ANC as their preferred leader of government. The recently convened Provincial Day of Prayer that we coordinated under the guidance of the Honorable Premier was a demonstration of how our people still support their government. Honorable Speaker, the Provincial Day of Prayer saw thousands of people flocking to the old Bitamgaba Stadium because our people are alive to the reality that some of the problems that confront our society require all of us to join hands in prayer. The event was a phenomenal success on many fronts, and we shall be making a formal request to our Honorable Premier to make it an annual occasion on our event calendar. We present these plans, Honorable Speaker, conscious of the glaring challenges that meet the majority of our people. Honorable Speaker, we are unapologetic in our resolve to lessen the poverty burden on the shoulders of our people and deliver them to their reimagined promised land. Our boisterous efforts of improving the lives of our people, as enshrined in the iconic Freedom Charter and the groundbreaking Constitution, have been gravely weakened by the advent of the disruptive COVID-19 pandemic and a stagnant economic growth. The recent stubborn spate of power outages and the global developments like the Russia-Ukraine conflict are washing our strides of rebuilding the economy ashore. Honorable Speaker, however, we remain optimistic that the future of Limpopo province, the province of the great Lawrence Pukanuka, the illustrious Mark Shope, the defiant Peter Nchabeling, the heroic Charlotte Manye Mateke, and many other heroes and heroines of our struggle is as bright as the sun. Honorable Speaker, we have descended to this august house from the tropical zones of Mieshe, the escarpments of the Limpopo Plateau, the majestic shadows of the Blowback Mountains, the hills and the valleys of the Zolpansberg, and the naturally endowed waterbed, in pursuit of a common goal of making economic freedom a reality to our people. We are fully cognizant of the significance of the month of April as a point of political conversion into our democratic dispensation. The iconic Solomon Kalush Mahlangu, a well-rounded freedom fighter whose life was cut short by apartheid's mercenaries, was hanged during the month of April. Oliver Tambo, a celebrated liberation struggle torchbearer, departed from this world during the same month. Honorable Speaker, we will forget the 10th of April 1993, when South Africa woke up to the shattering news of the death of her beloved son, Comrade Chris Tembisi, whose death was apartheid's last desperate attempt to put our transitional plans into disarray. It was in April 1994 when throngs of our people, tired of apartheid's evil grip and draconian laws, flocked to the polling stations to elect a democratic government that was to rule them based on their will. That was a watershed moment that propelled this country on a developmental pedestal and corrected the centuries-long injustice which were festered by the apartheid rule. It is for these and many other reasons, Honorable Speaker, that we have placed a high emotive premium on this man, which is also known as the Freedom Man. Honorable Speaker, apartheid and colonialism have played a catalytic role to tilt the economic fortunes of this country to favor the few. It is not surprising that after a quarter of a century of self-rule, this government is still grappling with insurmountable challenges of an unequal society. We have made significant strides in our quest of building safer borders and fortifying our immigration systems. Honorable Speaker, members of this august House, the establishment of the Border Management Authority, a Schedule 3A entity, must be viewed as government's courageous attempt to address the numerous challenges that are posing a security risk on our borders. This entity will streamline all the border management functions into a single entity, which is also expected to cushion all the immigration challenges. The Limpopo province is placed as a strategic node that connects the country to the rest of the continent, and it is therefore susceptible to sporadic nefarious acts of cross-border crimes. Honorable Speaker, we will never get tired from galvanizing and drumming up support within our communities to build functional and effective community policing forums and community safety forums in order to create safer communities. As the ruling party, we have also resolved that as part of our civic duty, we must mobilize our strategy and social partners to comb the perpetrators and wipe them out of our communities. Honorable Speaker, for the 2023-2024 financial year, the Department of Transport and Community Safety has been allocated a budget of $2,484 million, which is reduced by 0.34% as compared to the 2022-2023 financial year. Honorable Speaker, members of this August House, the Department of Transport and Community Safety is the highest revenue collector and contributes around 47% towards the income of the provincial government. The bulk of this income is generated through traffic functions. I want to encourage honorable members, when you see traffic officers stopping you on the road, and when you are found to be on the wrong side of the law, don't negotiate with them. Just make sure you allow them to do their work. They are not negotiators. They are law enforcement officers. Honorable Speaker, by the end of March 2023, the department had collected an amount of $815,941,000, and we project to collect around $852,873,000 in the 2023-2024 financial year, $890,655,000 in the 2024-25 financial year, and a further $930,288,000 in the 2025-2026 financial year. This will be made possible, Honorable Speaker, through various revenue enhancement strategies that are implemented with the support of the provincial treasury led by MEC Squad. Program 1, which is administration. This is a support program to the core functioning of the department. Its allocation of $644,228,000 includes compensation of employees at $312,789,000, payments of contracts like cleaning services, security services, office space, machinery and equipment, and other transversal services. Honorable Speaker, upon taking office, we urgently address the vacancy on the position of the head of the department with a view of bringing stability into the department. This process culminated into the appointment of Mr. Stephen Machena as the head of the department, and he's here leading the team from the department in this house today. We have also embarked on a rigorous recruitment drive to fill other critical vacancies within the department. All these, Honorable Speaker, are done to ensure that this department must continue to provide unfettered services to the people of this province. We will soon be advertising a leadership program targeting 20 young unemployed candidates who will be earmarked for the department's motor mechanical workshop. Most of the employees in that section are approaching retirement age, and if we don't implement a comprehensive succession plan, we will have serious brain drain challenges within the government garage section. In our pursuit to professionalize public service, we continue to implement capacity building interventions amongst the department's senior management personnel. Our plans, Honorable Speaker, are conscious of gender parity issues and the empowerment of people with disabilities. Program 2, which is public transport operations. With the assistance of the Office of the Premier and the Provincial Treasury, we are engaged in a series of meetings with the Gateway Airport Authority Limited with a view of assisting the entity to be self-sustainable and to rely less on government's financial backing. On the instruction of the Honorable Premier, the entity has been directed to embark on a peer review expedition that will convert it into a competent and a dominant industry player. Honorable Speaker, of the 932,630,000 allocated for the public transport operations, an amount of 74,432,000 is for compensation of employees, and a further 70,494,000 will be apportioned to GAL to sustain its operation. The allocation to GAL is done with the understanding, Honorable Speaker, that government's grants must ultimately diminish as the entity's turnaround strategy starts to bear fruit. We shall not renege on our social pact with over 20 million passengers who rely on our subsidized public transport that connects them between their homes and economic nodes. An amount of 767,229,000 has been allocated for the bus subsidies program in this financial year. Through these subsidies, we have cushioned the economic hardships which will ordinarily be faced by millions of our commuters. With the assistance of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the department has commissioned a study in the current public transport operations and the routes they are covering. The purpose of this study, honorable members, was to ensure that government is able to draw value for money in this program, and also to revamp the current contract arrangement, which are almost to becoming evergreen. Government will certainly tread carefully in this regard, and the revision of these contracts will be done in a manner that is responsive to the current volatile economic dispensation. We are making a clarion call to all our municipalities, Honorable MEC Makam, to ensure that the designs of their integrated transport plans are defined by public transport needs and will avoid instances of oversupply, which in many instances leads to taxi conflicts and violence. Meanwhile, the public regulatory entity continues to watch over applications of new operating license. Program 3, which is transport regulation. Honorable Speaker, we have allocated an amount of 850,132,000 for this program, with the bulk of the budget being dedicated towards the compensation of employees and the construction of various traffic stations and the development of the Limpopo Traffic College in Mani. This program hosts the crux of our services, and it has much of our workforce who are our dedicated traffic officers. Because we are generally a service-driven department, a total of 711,275,000 of this program is spent on the compensation of employees. Honorable Speaker, in the past financial year, we have completed the upgrading of Block B of the Traffic College, which was the construction of a 40-bed dormitory at the cost of 18 million. we are in consultation with our sister department of Public Works and Roads Infrastructure under the leadership of MEC Kakarin Repale to finalize the acquisition of land for the upgrading of the Mampapil Way Bridge. Of the 24 million that is earmarked for the Mampapil project, 3 million has been set aside to acquire land. Honorable Speaker, plans for the construction of the Lobong K53 and motor vehicle testing pit are also afoot. The land is available, and the department is finalizing the modalities around the construction of this project. The department will continue with the maintenance of all traffic facilities. A budget of 6.6 million has been set aside for maintenance of traffic facilities. We are engaged in a robust discussions with the Road Traffic Management Cooperation to allow us, Honorable Speaker, to appoint 150 learners to be enrolled within the traffic learnership program in this financial year. Delays around this development have been caused by the muted plans to readjust the curriculum from a 12-month training program to become a fully fledged 3 years diploma. In terms of suppressing road carnages, we have outdone ourselves during the first 3 quarters of the past financial year. We were able to reduce fatalities by a staggering 20.8% during the festive period because of the numerous intervention mechanisms that we employed. We view the reduction from 226 fatalities in 2021 to 179 in 2022 as a quantum leap towards our efforts of reducing fatalities on our roads. This is attributable to the constant presence. This is attributable to the constant presence of traffic officers with speed cameras on our roads. And we salute the Chief Director, Memra Uzi, and the HOD for the job well done, together with our police officers. It was only after the beginning of this calendar year, Honorable Speaker, that the last quarter of the 2022-2023 financial year, that we started to experience an increased number of horrific accidents with multiple fatalities. We are still reeling from shore from the accident that killed 22 passengers on the N1 outside Makado on the 13th February 2023. Subsequent to that, we also experienced another fatality in the Elias Mutwaledi municipality, where 16 people lost their lives, including 7 learners. These fatalities are devastating to families as they leave most of them without breadwinners and beloved members. We have started with the process of employing new techniques during this past Easter long weekend, where we placed our officials within the 10 kilometers radius on the N1 between Transcorp and Kuluban. Honorable Speaker, our manageable fatality records on the N1 are testament to the effectiveness of this methodology. On the taxi violence, our cordial relations with organized writers like the South African National Taxi Council and the National Taxi Alliance continue to bear fruits. On Program 4, which is Provincial Secretariat for Police Services, a great part of our mandate as the department is to perform an oversight function over the South African Police Services. We continue to enjoy cordial relations with the South African Police Service under the leadership of the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tembi Patel. We are working around the clock on intensifying our crime-fighting machinery in the Toyando, Mangweng, Makwelering, Limpopo, and Sishiwo policing areas. We continue to record worrying patterns of contact crimes, and it is our shared view, together with the provincial commissioner, that we must deploy innovative ways to fight crime and protect our communities. Of the 56,563,000 allocated to this program, a sizable fragment of it is dedicated to the sustenance of effective and functional community policing and community safety forums. We have attested how the formulation of the CPF and CSF have greatly contributed to the reduction of crime. The crime awareness episodes conducted by the department and the SAPs are assisting in the fight against crime and gender-based violence and femicide. In this financial year, Honorable Speaker, we will conduct a research program to investigate the impact of public protest on South African police service. Its focus will be on the Limpopo province to assess the hot spots for public protest, the nature of the protest, the frequency therefore, the reasons behind the protest, the manner of response by our South African police service, and the effect this has on the police service. All this, Honorable Speaker, are our earnest attempt to build a responsive government that is able to make strategic interventions in the service delivery needs of our people. We have also conducted a series of crime awareness campaigns in the form of workshops throughout the province to address issues of rural safety and conduct door-to-door campaigns to address drug and substance abuse as well as crime against vulnerable groups. The department further managed to contribute to the fight against gender-based violence by conducting awareness campaign with the recent episode held in the fourth quarter at PPP Village in the Bembe district. In the past financial year, we have registered 300 young civilians on patrol and 525 extended public works program participants. These groups are critical towards the fight against crime within their localities, as they help to debush crime hotspots and conduct patrols in some areas. For the 2023-2024 financial year, we will be increasing the number of young civilians on patrol to 400, and we will maintain the EPWP at 500. We will sustain the momentum, Honorable Speaker, of conducting crime prevention programs in our communities with a view of addressing crime against vulnerable groups, rural safety, and anti-drug and substance abuse campaigns, and encourage public participation in the crime prevention. Central to our crime prevention strategies is the need to have effective community policing forums and community safety forums. The 2022-23 financial year period marked 5 years since the launch of these structures. During the first and the second quarter of the previous year, the department was hard at work relaunching these community structures for the coming 5 years as their existence is aligned to the local government electoral segment. To this end, the department has managed to relaunch 28 community safety forums and 110 community policing forums, and workshops have been conducted to capacitate them to carry out their tasks with commitment and diligence. Honorable Speaker, the province has dedicated a total budget of 15,241,000 for partnerships amongst of drivers who drive away after being involved in this type of accident. Honorable Speaker, our plans will amount to naught if we overlook issues of prudent financial governance and accountability as we deliver our services. As the executive authority, I had a series of vigorous engagements with the head of department and his executive management, where I have registered my serious reservations about our inability to attain a commendable audit opinion. We have a history of obtaining clean audit opinions from the Auditor General, but we have regressed substantially in the 2021-2022 financial year. I'm certain that the people of this province, on whose behalf we are leading this government, are also worried with this state of affairs. Honorable Speaker, I therefore present this budget of 2,484 million of the Department of Transport and Community Safety to the people of the Limpopo province with the following breakdowns. 1,135 million for compensation of employees, 372,921,000 for goods and services, 864,009,000 for transfers and subsidies, 111,675,000 for payments for capital assets. Honorable Speaker, I'm grateful to my Lord and Savior for giving me life and opportunity to serve these people. I want to thank the Premier of the province, Honorable Matawata, under whose tutelage and support we continue to lead. Support and guidance from my colleagues MECs, it's highly appreciated. I'm so grateful of the support and guidance from the members of the Portfolio Committee, led by Honorable Chair Mufumakazi Rebecca Sion. I want to thank the head of department, Mr. Stephen Matena, and his team of officials from the department for burning the midnight oil and ensuring that this department continues to be a provider of superior services. I'm also grateful, Honorable Speaker, of the support that is accorded to me by my family, my husband, Apostle Ratilani, and our children. It is Rohin Nilekan, an Indian author and a philanthropist, who remind us that, I quote, "We cannot be mere consumers of good governance, but we must be participants and co-creators of good governance." Close quote. Thanks, Honorable Speaker, and may the faithful God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Monsieur. Thank you very much. The budget speech is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Transport and Community Safety for consideration and report back to the House. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. We are moving to item 7.1.2. We shall now call upon the Honorable MEC for Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, MEC Rakwale, to present the budget speech for vote 9, Department of Public Works. Order, honorable members.
Honorable Premier, the Chief Whip, our Deputy Party Chief Whip, Mem Chadi, leaders of the opposition parties, Chair of Chairs, Deputy Chair of Chairs, our Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Member from Kubeji, and the entire Portfolio Committee, Chairpersons of committees, members of the Provincial Legislature, the Chairperson and members of the Road Agency Limpopo Board, Head of the Department in the Roca and the entire team of management, the CEO of RAN, Date Manueke, and the team from Road Agency Limpopo, heads of departments, members of the media, all people of Limpopo, Tobela, Nemachino. I'm here once again to table and present to you our departmental policy budget vote in an endeavor to bring back hope and assurance of the people of Limpopo that we are here to serve. We table this budget vote noting the challenges of service delivery in some of our communities, and we remain committed in addressing those challenges. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the NC-led government has made a firm commitment to ensure that reconstruction and development of our people, and also to transform as many of our people as possible into conscious agents of change for the construction of a winning and humane society to ensure access to a better life for all. This was also demonstrated by sister departments that have already tabled their budget speeches and also made financial commitments, all in a bid to realize and improve service delivery in communities. As people, we have every reason to be proud of our historic gains during our 29 years of democracy. Deputy Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure is amongst the strategic departments that are tasked to see to it that there is improved service delivery. It is my strong conviction that the provincial government, under the stewardship of the Honorable Premier Tukustan Natabata and his collective members of EXCO, is continuing with the expansion of the frontiers of human fulfillment, of which President Mandela spoke about in 1994. The fact is that our people are expecting more improved infrastructure, investment in the province, and reality is that we are currently unable to address all service delivery concerns that go due to budgetary constraints. Our people need new roads, new clinics, new schools, and the full rehabilitation and maintenance of the existing infrastructure. More than before, it is expected that we should do more with less and still maintain a high level of service standards. Honorable members, also allow me to indicate that we are gathered here today, a few months after Limpopo was severely affected by floods. 11 bridges were washed away across the province, with Mopani and Member district being the hardest hit. Preliminary assessment reports also indicate that 202 roads are badly damaged. These floods have reversed the work of rehabilitation and patching of potholes that we launched in August last year through Operation Spellbook. In the budget speech of the previous financial year, we committed that the Road Agency Limpopo was going to sign service level agreements with the municipalities and coastal. This is for the purposes of capacitating municipalities in terms of roads maintenance, and all this is done in the spirit of intergovernmental relations and the district development model that seeks to ensure that there is well-coordinated service delivery amongst others. I am happy to report that 10 contractors for maintaining internal streets in some municipalities have been appointed. Honorable Deputy Speaker, on roads infrastructure, the challenges dominated the agenda for our business as the department and its entity. This particular situation required everyone to work hard towards resolving some of the service delivery challenges. During the year under review, we had given focused attention to projects that we had committed to the people of Limpopo. We redoubled our efforts and embarked on a vigorous work of maintaining road infrastructure as part of our routine maintenance. In this regard, we have managed to register progress on the roads throughout the province. Following an outcry about the state of our roads in the province, we have taken a conscious decision to put more focus on rehabilitation and maintenance of our roads infrastructure. This is an indication that indeed we are a listening government. Rehabilitation work is currently underway in the 5 districts, starting with Waterford district. We are rehabilitating 10 road networks that we are implementing in phases, and we are currently doing phase 1. On road P85-2, surplus to Bay Plus. Road D 626 from Winardsrivier to Ras Defender. Road D1675 Lephalale to Steenbok Park. We are progressing well on Road D3502 Mahoma to Mosesejane at 96%. D3110 Basilika to Shongwane at 90%. D887 Top Bertha to All Days at 80%. Rehabilitation work is also underway and currently progressing well. Road D192 from R101 Butterfall to R18 in Margan at 30%. D2702 from PPC to Guangdong at 57%. P134-1 from Mohobong to Lushov at 43%. We have completed the design on Road D1435 from R01 Opani to Makapan Bay. In Vembe, we rehabilitated 12 roads networks and currently have completed phase 1 on this following roads. P94-2 from R521 to Gondriff, Road R521-P98-2, maintenance of Road P98-2 in Vembe phase 1 is complete. P277-1 from P135-1, Masisi to Toyando, D3653, Boshawuku to Bevula, P135-1, Bokmakiri to Bend Modale, D959 from Makado towards the Air Force Base. We will soon complete rehabilitation work on the following roads. D4 Malamele to Emu towards N1 currently at 80%. D1483 Musina to Gondriff in Vembe currently at 99%. P278 through 1N1 to Willisport to Toyando currently at 88%. D449 from N1 to Dobeni at 50%. D1174 from Musina to Tipisa is at a detailed design stage. D1021 from D744 Mopani to N1 Njelele Nature Reserve in Vembe, the project design is complete. Under Mopani, we completed phase 1 maintenance work on roads D1292 from D1350 to R529 Ngabako, D3840 from Yari to Palabora, and D3200 from R81 to Ngabwai. We are continuing maintenance work on D3840 from Yari to Palabora, and the progress is 99%. D11 Ramamaila Betuna, the progress is 90%. D3873, Bohana to Lepepani in Mopani, phase 1, progress is excellent 5%. D3880 Linyenye to D4139 Musoron in Mopani, phase 1, progress is at 90%. D3641 from D3812 Giyani to D3745 Aldi in Mopani, phase 1, progress is at 92%. D1909 from P1704 to Timbawati, the Mopani district, progress is at 89% completion. D3179 from Medinye to Malimata is at 25%, and we are currently in design stage for D548 George Bay from R36 in Zari to R71 Hanspec, D318 from D447 Maraga to R71 Shayamelir, P43-3 road leading from the Tower Range to Elan design are complete. Under Sipukune, we conducted phase 1 maintenance on roads D856 from P95-1 Denal 10 to R573 and 30 progress is at 100%. D4356 Arabi to Pedwan in Sipukune district, progress is at 100%. P51 from Self-Rollstown to Stoffbeck, progress is at 99%. D2923 Denal 10 to Siabusa, progress is at 95%. D2219 from R579 Ramuloi to R355 Ramalikana in Sukune, the project is at the detailed design stage. D2484 from R355 to Gahomu to Mabodile, progress is at 94%. D4250 Apel to Malope, Mahalacha in Sukune, the project design completed. D1296 Delport to River Cross in Sukune, the project is at preliminary design stage. D41 Sokolibe to 4 up D41440 Pent in Sukune, the project is a detailed design stage. P20701 from Mablo Hall through Budan Road to Siabuswa, progress is at 96%, and we have commenced with phase 2, which is at 25%. D4240 progress is at 73% completion. D4150 Watershook to practice sale progress is at 68%. And I can recall, in terms of phase 1 maintenance plan, we have worked on the following roads: D1356 from N1 to Matsege to D87 Rampuba, which is complete. D3600 from Lekan to Mutare is complete, and we've commenced with phase 2, which is at 25%. P18-2 from Amp 518, which is the Radiala Cross, to Berkhane village is complete. P54-1 Munich to Muribin, progress is at 65%. D19 from R544 in Buluban to D5066 in Mutara, progress is at 95%. D407 from Epeng to Shotalani, the project is at detailed design stage. D3997 from D844 Sibayi to D617 Gamswell, the project is at detailed design stage. D1200 from Wadi to Blockman, the project design completed, and D688 where still progress is at 65%. D4069 from Mashite to R37, progress is at 82%. Phase 2 of road D885 from Bloemfontein to Imaplan, progress is at 27%. D668 where still progress is at 65%. The maintenance of road D4069 from Mashite to R37 is at 32%. We have also completed designs for the maintenance of additional 33 roads across the province. It is our intention to work toward ensuring that work on those roads commence as and when there is a budget available. We are encouraging private sector to come on board to support this initiative. Honorable Deputy Speaker, allow me to provide an update on the roads upgrading projects that we committed that we were going to focus on 22-23 financial year, and contractors have been appointed for the following roads upgrading projects that will be carried out in phases in the coming financial year. Under Bembe District, D3669 Mabunga Access Road, D3671 Musekwa to Marani. Waterberg District, D3561 from N1 to Sowole 1 and Sowole 2 to Parapati. Capricorn, D3278 Global Hospital to Buffalo Soup. We are preparing for ambulances that are going to deliver very soon. D3436, D3428, D5007 Aramshwani, Aramekwani, Aramukwani, Andamupani. D3248 Taban Access to Wambido. Sikukune District, D4283 Lenkawi to Ramalaka. The following roads are at different levels of design stage. For upgrading from gravel to tile, we hope to commence with the construction as and when budget becomes available. Under Sikukune in District, the designs were completed on the following roads: D4260 Balobito Pogwani, D4180 Achokmai to Raslebe to Mutinole. The engineer is currently working on detailed design report for road D419 Appel to Rangwan to D1490. In Mopani, we have completed designs for road 3734 in Chachama. Capricorn, we have completed design for road D4090, D4093, D4094, and D4096. And we've managed to appoint consultants for the following: flood damage bridges, bridge on road 3505 near Chutani community in Malakwena, Western Bagenberg area, bridge on road D3753 near Zondo community in Tulamela, bridge on road D3817 near Wayeni community in Polischara. Consultants have been recently appointed for designs for the following upgrading roads: in Spukune Mafefe to Murole, D5055, followed by D4227 and D4230 upgrading of Lulu Access Road, D4285 Masrungle Park Nuclear to Batantuan, D4328 Kalautwani, Siriting to to Ramborani, D4200 Panama to Ranchabele, D2913 Makakadime to Pele, 3200 Amroga to Mama. Vembe District, Chikonelo to Chikundu, which is D3661, D36710, Zingane to Chibazwaulu. D2677, Faithfontein, Tapalalam of Tofananani, D3746, D3746 between Scanning Walksback, Bay Brom, and Dabana, Cross. D3717, D3736, D3642, Volume to Bumbani. D3754, D3719, Mungeni to Chipusen, and D-Walk to Nguzana. D3640, Rampabo to Ndabula, the Capricorn. D4032, Ramtabo, Kumulong to Rampel. D3135, Utoba Old Clinic to Sikakeni Village. D337, D19 to Lowlands, to Tulwani, to Mabangula. D15, Takalani to Muribi. D3287, 3292, D1589 from corner D1589 to Eldorado to Radine on D3292. D1809, nobody to last, go to Mutako. D3613, D2614, D3595, Marisha Road. D732, Arangwe to Ramuliele via Manban. D506, D3389, 35 to Mashashan. D23, Bolbeth, Nature Reserve, D3397, R567 to Squad, to Likure, D3617 and Andam D3804, D3805, Shibukwan to Mbako, P43-3, Litara to Island, D3786, Mashishimali Road from R31 to R1, D3812, Romu 14B to Bugeshi, D3775, Mangwe to Mafaran, D3164, Elephant's Book through Rotterdam to Snampoop and ETLA, D3641, Alday to Shango. I like this man. Waterlake District. Was the last one, then going to Waterbeck, D1231 Mashashani to Mugopani, D3505 Park Doran to Sowole 1, D180 D536 Alma, D4426 Villa Link Road, D3575 N11 via Monte Cristo to Poland, D19 Mamikabe to Amtabo stroke Babani. Honorable Deputy Speaker has emphasized that the work of consultants in the business construction of roads is quite important. These professionals do project feasibility studies, environmental impact studies, material investigation, detailed design, comparables of quantity, and drawings to ensure quality of the services and work rendered. Therefore, they are critical. They are the critical in the value chain of infrastructure development. Consultants mentioned above are expected to complete the design work before the end of the 2023-24 financial year. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, one of the ways we ensure our roads are in a drivable state is to do regraveling and blading of roads while waiting for upgrading. The reality is that we do not have sufficient budget to upgrade gravel roads of about 30,000 kilometers of backlog. Road Agency Limpopo will be collaborating with the department in order to fast-track the regraveling of roads in the 5 districts of the province, and the following are the roads under Mopani, Road D3247 from Mwabitwa via Bambanana Village, D3878 in Badun Village next to Raskoro, D3187 Mopati Lopare to Zume. Waterbeck District 3958 from N11 to Mapula in Malapel. Road 3534 Limpopo to Jotswana. The road connects the people of Watermark and Capricorn district. And the Capricorn D33332 from Waramkwe to Ramulele via Malpana, D3959 in Sibayeng to Rakhan, D4016 Mampaga to Spisco. And as the Kukula district, road 4328 from Notwanen to Sriting, road D4252 from Matata to Mpanama, road D4204 from Makoba to Asaroka. It has got nothing to do with the selling of the children. Vemba district, D3685 from Matabela to Chikwaza, road D3923 from Chiwasana to Mdabula in Collins Chabani municipality, D3695 from Chandama to Silo, and I think I must indicate that these roads that I've just mentioned, after the floods, they were not accessible at all. The total amount of 96 million will be spent on the regraveling of these roads, in addition to efforts we are making towards our roads to be drivable state. Road agency in Limpopo has signed a memorandum of understanding with 10 local municipalities to do routine maintenance and control patching. Work has already commenced in various municipalities. The following local municipalities have been identified: Bakalabura, Musina, Rubani, Collins Chabani, Bilabila, Elias Ntwali, Fitako, Makado, Ephraim, Magali, and Mudumule, local municipalities. This is a continuation of the control patching operation and those that have already started driving on this road can see the progress there, and I must say the people are deep on the ground. This is a continuation of the control patching initiative of Operation and the project saw road workers in all 5 districts in post centers going on the ground and do the work. Through that process, we've been able to address some of the challenges and identify roads repair and major rehabilitation. We've also appointed 22 household contractors who have been allocated to each local municipality to do maintenance of our roads. In the 2022-2023 financial year, they surpassed the target of 100,000 square meters and achieved 187.33 square meters. 963 jobs were created. In 2022-2024 financial year, the program will continue with a target of 132.394 square meters and 1,941 jobs are targeted for creation. It is work in progress as the filling of potholes is a moving target due to the dire state of our roads as worsened by the recent rains. What we will continue to do is re-gravel and blade our gravel roads in order to make them drivable. To this end, there has been an allocation of 100 million for the 2023-2024 financial year for the purchase of heavy machinery and equipment. We will continue to procure new plants for our coast centers during the next term, and thanks to Ms. Squad. And I think we're just starting and we'll continue to get that allocation. We are hoping and believing. We are currently in the process of recruiting driver operators who will be responsible for the maintenance of our roads. Our commitment as a department is to deliver quality road networks that connects communities to economic mainstays, of which key industries are agriculture, mining, and tourism. We are pleased with the fact that some in the private sector understand and support the initiatives of government, appreciating the fact that together we can do more. In the 2022-2023 financial year, our strategic partners in the private sector contributed about 400 million as a way of co-funding the development of the province road infrastructure. For this, we are humbly grateful as it provides relief to the provincial fiscus. Honorable Premier Shukbusben Matabata, in his state of the province address, alluded to one of the public-private partnership when he announced the rehabilitation and refurbishment of the single-lane steel bridge in Ramalekana village in Vitamutua's local municipality. The project is estimated to cost 127 million as a result of investment from 8 mining houses in the area, who honored their social responsibility initiative and committed to refurbish the bridge while also preserving the history behind it. Let me also mention that in the year under review, Road Agency Limpopo together with the South African National Road Agency signed a memorandum of agreement for the construction of the new road interchange on the R71 near St. Agnes Diocese Church. 130 million is allocated for this project to commence soon upgrading of the following roads: D2919 Chikanoshi to Malibita District, D3810 Tomo to Pamela Mobile District, D3878 Calais to Gasporo Mobile District, D3187 Mageba to Mankuba Mobile District, D3135 Butoba Clinic Access Capricorn, D5013 Amamba Service Road in Spokune, upgrading of R37 Section 1 from Grigop to Beggarsford, construction is at 75%. Routine road maintenance is ongoing for the following roads: R37 from Buluban to Grigop, R555 from Rama Podila, which is 17.4 kilometers, to Beggarsford, which is going to be 37.4 kilometers. N11 from Mokopane to Robles Bridge, Bora Coast, N1 from Glasgow to Musina. As part of continuing to develop Musina Makado Special Economic Zone, there is an allocation of 30 million for the designs of the roads network, which is a continuation of the good work already done in the area. These initiatives for the members are evidence that indeed it is all hands on deck as the province forges ahead with infrastructure development under the difficult economic climate. The department through its agency in 2023-24 and 2024-25 financial years, amongst other projects, continue with the rehabilitation of the following road. In Waterberg District, D887 Tombek towards All Days in Waterberg Phase 2, D3110 Vasilika to Shomani in Waterberg Phase 2, Vemble, D4 Malamele to Elim towards N1 Phase 2 and Phase 3, D1483 Musina to Dongrif in Vemble Phase 2 and Phase 3, Mopani D3840 from Giani to Makuba Phase 2, D11 from Lemondo Bob to Rapatelo Phase 2 and 3, D3873 from Mohana to the Kapani Phase 2. In Skokune, DP5103 from Ostal to Southbank in Skokune Phase 2 and Phase 3, D2923 Benalton to Siamuswa in Skokune Phase 2, D856 from P951 Benalton to R73 Mudedi in Skokune Phase 2. Capricorn District D1356 from N1 to Matega to D879 Ramatoba Phase 2, D407 from Yepen to Shotalani, from D406 Phase 2, D3997 from D84 Sibaye to D617 Ramsway Phase 2. As part of improving our road infrastructure monitoring system, we will through the entity venture into technology which will assist in recording the condition of the provincial network, including bridges, through photographic recordings, vehicles and drone technology. We will also be conducting search into materials from mines for use in road construction supported by research companies, universities, and mining industry. We will further support job creation activities by focusing on development into the use of labor-intensive activities within block paving. The block paving method of construction will assist the province to deliver road infrastructure in a more cost-effective manner. For the year 2023-2024 financial year, Road Agency Limpopo will receive from the department's budget an allocation of 2 billion from road maintenance, upgrading of roads, strengthening partnership, and other operational goals. Infrastructure development for other departments. Deputy Speaker, allow me to continue with infrastructure development activities that we've been doing on behalf of our provincial departments. When we presented plans for 2022-23, we made a commitment that we will commence with the construction works for several traditional council offices. Today, I can confirm that indeed work has commenced in this multi-year project and progressing well. Traditional council offices, Bagolema Madala in Capricorn, which is at 30%, Rapatelo in Mopani district at 45%, Bagolema Matipe in Skopune district at 45%, Manoga in Skopune district 48%. Construction progress at Dabana in Bembe and Matete are sitting at 14%. Bagolema Traditional Council in Waterberg district 22%. I'm also pleased to confirm that the Mogasho Traditional Council office in Skopune district, which has encountered some challenges, is at its initial stage, is now complete. This then means we are on the right track in ensuring that we preserve the dignity of our traditional leaders who are in an extension and critical partner in governance of the people of Limpopo. Education infrastructure, the Limpopo Province through its Department of Public Works Roads and Infrastructure's mandate and long-term infrastructure plan is expected to deliver services in line with 131 school infrastructure program. infrastructure in the 2022-23 financial year. Our learners deserve to be taught in the competent, functional, and safe school infrastructure facilities that are conducive to learning and teaching. We are working tirelessly with the Department of Education to build schools across the 5 districts in our province. The department has successfully achieved the following milestones. Under Limpopo District, all days primary school in Sonawarana village 100% complete in 2022-23 financial year. And the following 7 schools have commenced with construction as part of the education infrastructure rollout plan in 2022-23-24 financial year. Matsoman Primary in Meeting, Ampatele, Rakwata Primary in Zalitiel, Rasema Secondary in Bukoba, Siale Secondary in Ramhopa, Sikiti Secondary in Muleji, Bigolo Secondary in Sonawarana Village, Matsuopani Secondary in Sonawarana Village. The following 5 schools are at the final design stage and are waiting for approval to commence with construction and advertisement as part of the education infrastructure plan in 2023-2024 to 24-25 financial year. Potokela Primary in Sonawarana, Tabakona Primary in Mamabulu, Bituko Primary in Polokwane, Nutrition Secondary School in Polokwane Town, Chitakekana Secondary in Zelitia. In Mopani, Gidela Secondary School in Glenbagan Village is 100% complete as part of infrastructural outplan in the previous year financial year. The following 6 schools have commenced with construction as part of education infrastructural outplan in 2023-2024 financial year. Liputi Primary in the Oaks Village, Chameti Secondary in Mushiani, Dabiak Secondary in Mahau, Manamakutu Secondary Sofia, Ramatimana Secondary in Muluwe Village, Sehona Secondary in Baluwe Village. The following 6 schools are at final stage, design stage, and are waiting for approval to commence with construction and advertisement as part of the education infrastructural outplan 2023-24 to 24-25 financial years. Wohu Primary in Wohu Village, Ranimate Primary in Mamito, Ukutula Primary in Karangani Village, Valam Rosa, something like that. Valam Rosa in primary in Mopati. Yeah, Mahobela Secondary in Skimi, Matimu Secondary in Kutuan Village. And as the following 3 schools are at various stages as part of education infrastructure outplan in the previous financial year, 2022-2023 financial year. The Dumama Gume Primary School in Masamule Park in Nebo, Mataka Women Primary in Waterswood Village is 100% complete. Naledia Miso Secondary in the Halaway is at 55% construction state, and previous contractor was terminated due to poor performance, and the department is in the process to finalize the procurement of the replacement contract. The 4 schools have commenced with construction as part of education infrastructure outplan 2023-24 financial year. Sibuweng Primary in Mangani Village, the Halaway Secondary in the Halaway Village, Riboni Secondary in Malienzi Village, St. Paul Secondary in the Crown Village. And the following 9 schools are at final design stage and are waiting for approval to commence with construction advertisement as part of education infrastructural out in 2023-2024 to 24-25 financial year. Opanong Primary in Malienzi Village, Kapamani Village in Monstrelos Village, Tabani Primary in Mabucha, Bututu Secondary in Mahate, Oba Secondary in Daffelkop, Likovo Secondary in Ramarishani, Makwete Secondary in Maretwani Village, Molishato Secondary in Maida Matizani Village, Mokonyelete Secondary in Ramashalela. In Vembe, Malude Secondary School in Toyando is 100% complete as part of infrastructural outplan in the previous year 2022-2023. The following 3 schools commenced with construction as part of education infrastructure rollout. For 2023-2024 financial year, Masiko Primary in Haluvimbi, Mpakale Primary in Mangweni, Butibi Primary in Kanganani. And the following 3 schools are at final design stage and are waiting for approval to commence with construction advertisement as part of education infrastructure rollout plan for year 2023-24 to 24-25 financial years. Mfumbanda Primary in Mambobogi, Mayeke Primary in Shipundu, Gatini Secondary in Chicago. In Waterberg, the following 4 schools have commenced with construction as part of education infrastructural outline in 2023 and 2024 financial year. Suswe Primary in Bakenberg, David Skara Secondary in Mutumule, Matilda Secondary in Malepete, Maputi Malala Secondary in Mutumule, which is an informal settlement. The Mokari Combined School is at final design stage and are waiting for approval to commence with construction and assessment as part of education infrastructural outline for the financial year 2023-24 to 24-25 financial year. The department will continue with the support to other departments through provision of education infrastructure. The construction of 26 new schools projects have commenced and prioritized to be completed in the year 2023-24 financial year and 24-25 financial years respectively. And the schools are prioritized as indicated below, which are 10 new schools projects to be completed in 2023-2024 financial year in the province. Masikwa Primary, Goloi Secondary, Matimbe Secondary, Nabiak Secondary, Manamakutu Secondary, Rasena Secondary, Siale Secondary, Sikiti Secondary, Kidera Secondary, Narediamiso Secondary. 16 new schools projects to be completed in 2024-25 financial year across the province. Firstly, the first one, Davis Ara Primary School, Mpagani Primary, Matsuane Primary, Rapata Primary, Suso Primary, Vivi Primary, Simone Primary, Sibuyan Primary, Puti Primary, Chamedi Secondary, Kalawe Secondary, Matsuane Secondary, Maputimana Secondary, Ramatimana Secondary, Boni Secondary, St. Paul Secondary. The total of 24 new school projects are at final design stage and prioritized for advertisement for construction 2023-24 financial year. Modokela Primary, Tabakune Primary, Pituko, Wohu Primary, Rami Primary, Ukutula Primary, Balam Cross Primary, Kopanong Primary, Kapamani Primary, Tamani Primary, Mayeke Primary, Fumbada Primary, Chita Kegara Secondary, Nutrition Special School, Mahopele Secondary, Madimu Secondary, Pututu Secondary, Oba Secondary, Limpopo Secondary, Mapese Secondary, Molishako Secondary, Ponelete Secondary, Gatin Secondary, Mapari Combined School. The department is currently looking at the innovative infrastructure plans to ensure that projects are provided with an alternative energy source such as solar panels and lithium batteries prior completion. The cost-benefit analysis will be undertaken during design and project budget processes. The successful planning and implementation of the above education infrastructure project will be realized through commitment and dedication of technical teams within the department. The department's priority to provide quality, sustainable, safe education infrastructure facilities to all learners in the program. And the health infrastructure, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the department is still committed to ensuring that healthcare services are able to function through quality infrastructure provided by this department. We have made significant strides to unblock the problems on the construction of Chamalaji Hospital project. The project is at 92% completion stage, and we are pleased to announce that construction work have resumed this month of April 2023, and we anticipate to complete the project during the current financial year. We have completed construction works of the new 36-bed female general ward, renovation of the existing 26-bed female ward, helipad and waste water management at the Tara Hospital. Working is progressing well at the Sile Emergency Medical Service Center, and construction is at 95%. The Boahome Emergency Medical Center is at 50% completion stage. We acknowledge, Honorable Speaker, that this project is behind schedule. We will move with speed to recover the lost time on this project. Under transport infrastructure, the department continues to manage construction works at the Limpopo Traffic College at Shilamba in November District. Resident accommodation Block B is at completion stage, and in the 2023-24 financial year, the department will be completing the construction of the resident Block C. Construction works for the canteen or kitchen block will commence in April 2023. The department is also implementing K53 testing station where Toyalo K53 is under construction and Session K53 construction by the end of first quarter 2023-2024 financial year. Under sports, arts and culture, the department awarded and handed over sites for 4 libraries which are in free from Dane, Chaomu, Skupune and Channel. However, 3 contractors were terminated due to underperformance. Processes are underway for the appointment of replacement contractors in the first quarter. 1 library, the Channel, is at construction stage, planned to be completed in the financial year 2023-2024. The construction of Skuma's Land Museum is at completion stage. Furthermore, the department is at the final stage of planning and design for the construction of Limpopo Theatre. We are currently busy optimizing the designs to acceptable budget. Construction is scheduled to commence during the first quarter of 2023-2024 financial year. The department is also responsible for the refurbishment and maintenance of nature reserve in the province, and the maintenance of the Taba Nature Reserve is at completion stage, while the maintenance of access road to Maputi Camp and the Halame has been completed. The construction of tourist chalets at Nels Plain Nature Reserve is at 77%, as well as the new base at Wolfsburg Nature Reserve. Construction work is now at 82% at the new staff accommodation at Wolfsburg Nature Reserve. These projects are implemented through the development banks of South Africa, DBS. Honorable Deputy Speaker, on properties and facilities in terms of managing the province government land and buildings, the department will in 2023-2024 proceed with the task to ensure that the province continues to grow property portfolio by procuring buildings in Polokwane in order to reduce the lease portfolio. This is a strategic move by government to cut down on office accommodation spend. During the third quarter of 2022-2023, we have been able to procure the Limpopo Gateway Board building, and in this coming financial year, we have allocation of 100 million for the purchase of another building as part of implementing the executive committee resolution taken on that day. As the landlord of the provincial government, we will be embarking on an exercise to install prepaid electricity meters in state-owned properties in order to manage government spend on electricity. And we have started with the process of identifying such properties, including building used for residential purposes, in order for the tenants to pay for own consumption. And moving forward, Honorable Speaker, where residential properties are concerned, we are engaging with the Sima Housing Finance to assist in the management of that portfolio, in order for this government to start generating revenue, which is equal to the efforts and other resources put into managing this accommodation facilities. We are currently busy doing tenant audits in our district in preparation for the handover to begin. We urge those who are defaulting in rental payment to start making means to honor the contract, as things will start to be very difficult for them. The intention is to ensure that we are able to provide quality accommodation with this assistance of the revenue collected in order to maintain and even upgrade buildings that will respond to current needs brought about by the factors in the micro and macro environment. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, at this stage to mention that it becomes critical for the province to start exploring green building. As the Limpopo province is in the quest of addressing the climate change adaptation by having energy and electricity as one of the provincial strategic priorities, it becomes important for this department to explore strategies that will mitigate climate change, issues such as undertaking a green building efficiency program to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the built environment. We further commit, honorable members, to ensure that we spend the allocated 150 million in paying municipal rates and taxes, and urge our municipalities to continue working with us and provide quality assured invoices in order for payments to be effected timely. On this matter, it is both our responsibility to ensure that our people get the services and they need a local government. The department will also continue with efforts to move Sekhukhune government offices from the Luwahomu in Capricorn district to Jane First in the Sekhukhune district. The identified land has been surveyed, and while awaiting finalization of the diagram, there is a court impediment. We are hopeful that the matter will be resolved soon. Honorable Speaker, on EPWP is one of the government's interventions to fight against poverty and unemployment by creating temporary work opportunities and address issues of skills development in the community. The department, through its Extended Public Works program, Provincial Coordination Function has overseen the creation of 99,916 work opportunities by various implementing bodies, namely departments and municipalities, against the annual target of 95,785 in 22-23 financial year, which translates to overachievement of the target. In terms of demographics, 75% of beneficiaries were women, 32% youth, and 1% were people living with disabilities. Although we have achieved more than 100%, we do acknowledge that there is still a challenge in the attaining of 2% target for the people living with disabilities in all the sectors. We are committed to ensure that we achieve our demographics targets as EPWP jobs makers of bread and butter for the majority of South Africans, including people with disabilities. To this end, we have collaborated with DIFS, Limpopo, as well as South African National Council for the Blind in Limpopo, and through that, 151 job opportunities have been created. Furthermore, 87 artisans have been successfully produced through partnership with the Office of the Premier and MBR CETA. These artisans were trained in electrical fitting, welding, and diesel mechanic trades. In the 2023-24 financial year, as a coordinating department for EPWP, we will continue to provide support to implementing bodies and ensuring that we get people of working age involved in the economic activities of this province through program and project implementation across departments and municipalities. Honorable Deputy Speaker, on administration, the department is currently implementing the approved organizational structure as at 28 July 2021, and this will assist the department in achieving its mandate and strategic goals. We are in progress to implement the approved 2023-2024 recruitment plan and capacitate the infrastructure, finance, and ICT units, as these were the areas of concern raised by the oversight bodies. The department has received and qualified audit opinion for the past 3 years. With the current appointments, the department is empowered with requisite capacity to discharge and deliver on its mandate, and we believe we will be able to turn the corner and achieve a clean audit. The department will put efforts and measures to improve on SMS employment, equity target, and persons living with disabilities. We will continue to maintain and submit quarterly reports to oversight bodies as these reports are audited and findings raised have assisted the department to improve performance. Let me take this opportunity and thank the Premier of the province, Honorable Mr. Tarata, for steering the ship of service delivery to people of Limpopo province. We are also grateful for the support we receive from the oversight bodies that strive to keep us on track and be able to make the department accountable to people of Limpopo through oversight committees. We continue to appreciate the work done by Portfolio Committee chaired by Honorable Limpopo, as well as the Standing Committee on SCOPA chaired by Honorable Lawrence Lamuni. I also thank the Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure family, led by the head of the department, Dating with Professor Roca, for transversing this journey with me. Equally, I am grateful for the support given by the entity leadership, Chairperson of the Board, General and the Chief Executive Officer, the journey continues. Our work does not end here. We must continue to engage with our stakeholders on issues of service delivery and implement our plans with budget in the time frames that we have committed. I hereby present the budget allocation, vote 9 as follows. Program 1. For the financial year 2022-2023, my apologies, 2024, the department received a budget of 4.9 billion. Program 1 administration, 462,501 million. Program 2 infrastructure operations, 1 billion. Program 3 EPWP, 84.547 billion. Program 4 road infrastructure, 3,394 billion. Amount transferred total from the program 4, 2 billion. In 2023-2024 financial year, we must leave no one behind. Thank you, my friends, and really
Thank you very much, Honorable MC. The budget speech is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure for consideration and to report back to the House. We are now moving to 7.1.3. We shall now call upon the Honorable Acting MEC for Social Development, Honorable Sikwati, to present the budget vote 12 in the Department of Social Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There is no madam there.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, esteemed members of the Executive Council, the Chief Whip of the ruling party, leaders of the opposition parties, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, members of this August House, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Once again, we meet in this August House, which embodies the aspirations and hopes of the masses of our people. I'm greatly humbled and filled with a huge sense of privilege to stand before you on behalf of my colleague, Honorable Mayor Nadine Dalani, MEC responsible for social development, to deliver the budget vote for the department. Now, Speaker, I wish to begin the tabling of this budget vote by honoring and thanking our hardworking social workers who are lifeblood of our department. It's truly our appreciation for the noble service they are providing to our people. On a daily basis, these unsung heroes confront myriad of social ills such as gender-based violence, substance abuse, neglected children, domestic disputes, amongst others, which threatens the social fabric holding our communities together. We therefore believe we are justified when we accord them the recognition they truly deserve. We indeed are always mindful of the capacity challenges in this sector, and as a result of the 52 posts which were advertised and filled in the previous financial year, in one were social work professionals, and we believe this exercise will go a mile in improving our capacity and enable us to help more people on time, effectively, and efficiently. The ever-changing culture of social work continues to define the heart and soul of these professionals, continues to define the heart and soul of what these professionals do. It is against this backdrop that Social Work Symposium was held in March 2023 to celebrate Social Work Month, which is commemorated annually in March. The symposium was designed to be a refresher and re-engineering of focus session towards the needs and challenges of social work profession in this province. Our Speaker, one of the key lifelines of the department in terms of effective rendering of services to our people, particularly in the periphery of our province, is the existence of non-profit organizations. The department is finding 798 NPOs, of which the majority are drop-in centers. The 2022-23 budget for NPOs funding was 264 million and it will be increased to 292 million in 2023-24 financial year. Honourable Speaker, one of the fundamentals of our department's existence is to create a caring and self-reliant society. A perfect example thereof is the recent workshop in which 28 young people between the ages of 18 and 35 years old were enrolled in the youth entrepreneurship program. This involved accredited training in the repair of cell phones and tablets. They were each also given a new tablet and were assisted in registering their own businesses. This cohort of young people will hit the ground running and at the end of their training should be able to create their own income and possibly create jobs for their counterparts. The project was done in partnership with Val University of Technology, Women Capital Learning Solutions, and co-founded by Ben Sita through NEMISA. The welfare of young people is key to our future in this province, and they remain central to our planning and foresight. Therefore, in 2023-24 financial year, youth development will be funded to the tune of 7.45 million for empowering young people and youth NPOs, as well as creating an environment where they will cease to become part of the youth unemployment statistics in Ghana. Honourable Speaker, women empowerment programs were also allocated 4 million in the previous financial year with the intention of funding 6 cooperatives led by women. We are proud to announce that some of these cooperatives are with us today, displaying their produce outside. We are therefore happy to announce that a further 5.2 million is allocated to the funding of women cooperatives, training and development in this financial year. Honourable Speaker, for the first time since COVID-19 pandemic, which halted all activities in 2020, the department supported golden boys and girls from our province in Jamestown Stadium, Gauteng province in 2022. Although Team Limpopo did not emerge as overall victors, we dominated in the track events on the second day of the Games, and we are truly proud of them. Team Limpopo was also applauded for the extraordinary cooperation displayed between the Department of Social Development and Sports, Arts and Culture, as well as district and local municipalities in ensuring participation in the Games from the rural areas of the province all the way to the national games. The Games were preceded by Ora Persons dialogues in which Limpopo's Ora Persons choir also impressed the stakeholders and delegates. The 2023 Golden Games will be hosted by Mpumalanga province, and we look forward to the team Limpopo's performance at this edition. We also wish to thank the members of the Portfolio Committee for their support during the Jamestown Games. Our department has been assigned specific role in the National Strategic Plan on HIV, sexually transmitted infections and TB 2022-25, which is mainly to contribute towards the prevention of new HIV, STI and TB infections. To this effect, the department will train for 645 implementers on social and behavioral change to further reach 145,000 beneficiaries. A total of 10,327 beneficiaries will be provided with psychosocial support, which includes school uniforms and food parcels during the 23-24 financial year. The department will further strengthen coordination of structures through the signing of memorandum of understanding with various departments. Honourable Speaker, early this year, we launched CHO, a social behavioral change program which aims to help children between the ages of 10 and 14 in order for them to be able to make informed choices to reduce HIV infections, substance abuse, and teenage pregnancies, amongst others. As the name CHO is colloquial for a friend, the program encourages team building and collaboration amongst children, allowing them to develop strong supporting networks. To participated in the launch were very impressive in displaying their level of awareness and development, which is greatly welcome in this regard. I'm calling on parents to encourage their children to participate in programs such as CHOMI or related behavioral change programs, which is, in my view, will go a long way in reducing the unfortunate high levels of substance abuse, teenage pregnancy, and HIV infections. Given the current circumstances in which our children find themselves, as a department, we commit to strengthen developmental programs such as CHOMI, YOLO, Men Championing Change, Boys Championing Change, Feminist Matter, and Traditional Leaders Program in our communities, so that we can continue to prevent our children from going astray. Honourable Speaker, the restoration of the functional family unit remains key in creating caring and safe, progressive communities. The department therefore has facilitated the participation of 26,018 family members in family preservation services, and 11,248 have already participated in the parenting skills, and 145 were reunited with their families. We aim to reach 30,000 citizens through family preservation services in the current financial year, with a further 8,900 through our parenting space program. Our speaker for the financial year 2023, 2,083 children were placed in the foster care, and currently the province has a total of 36,984 children that needed to be legally placed in the foster care. These children continue to receive psychosocial services and supervision from our social workers. We are still awaiting for the proclamation of the changes to the Children's Act. This will be a huge step towards addressing the foster care backlogs. And further to this, there are currently 817 children who are placed in child and youth care sectors in the province. Following the National Association of Welfare Organizations and Non-Governmental Organizations, or NAMGOCO, court judgment, which provided a national model for funding of NPOs tasked with the care of children, the subsidy amount for children in the child care centers has increased from 2,500 to 4,000 rands per child. This is a 3-year funding cycle that started in 2021 and will end in March 2024. There are 15 child youth care centers in Limpopo, of which 5 are government run. 30.7 million of the budget will be spent on child care and protection services. Our speaker, community-based prevention and early intervention services serve as a response mechanism that seeks to address the needs of orphans and vulnerable children. A total of 21,900 children access the services in the past financial year, and we projected 3,000 children will access the services in 23-24 financial year. The department will also strengthen the RESIHA, formerly ECB program in all registered drop-in centers. We'll further support 341 drop-in centers benefiting 23,563 beneficiaries. 20 million has been set aside for the RESIHA program, while drop-in centers will now receive 35 million, an increase from the previous year's 22 million. Now, Speaker, as long as there is criminal activity, there will be victims. A total of 8,791 victims of crime and violence access social services, and the victims of gender-based violence and femicide received shelter services. In 22-23 financial year, the department trained 44 victims of crime and violence on sewing and garment making. They were also given starter packs for their own businesses. This brilliant project was done in partnership with the NPO Nyamukara and funded by FNB. Furthermore, on the subject of gender-based violence, we conducted GBVF dialogues in all 5 districts of the province from July to October 2022, targeting various stakeholders, including the police, non-profit organizations, and pressure groups. This workshop is a culmination of provincial GBVF summit, which was hosted in October 2022, and ultimately the second presidential national summit on GBVF. Through the Victim Empowerment Program, the department will be funding 67 VEP centers and 1 shelter during the 23-24 financial year, and the budget set aside is 20 million. The department has increased the subsidy from 167,000 to 250,000 for all funded VEP centers. We believe that this increase will reduce the burden under which our VEPs were operating under, and trust that this increment will provide much needed relief and capacity. Now, Speaker, the effect of substance abuse on the socio-economic welfare of the people of Limpopo is a cause for serious concern. The department is therefore coordinating the implementation of the National Drug Action Plan. The Provincial Substance Abuse Forum, comprising of a group of competent individuals, was launched in the financial year 2022-23 to date. 7 local drug addiction committees have been established in the Capricorn and Waterberg districts, and we eagerly await more formations in other municipalities. The fight against substance abuse and human trafficking needs a multi-sectoral approach and collaboration at all levels. It will therefore be beneficial for all concerned, including institutions of higher learning and research institutions, who can join the fray by commissioning studies on the subject matter that will assist the department greatly. Further to this, the subsidy for the substance abuse and related NPOs will increase from 80,000 rands to 100,000 rands in the coming 2023-24 financial year. Honourable Speaker, Department has donated 30 families with gardening equipment and seeds, which would help them to produce food for themselves. During the event which was hosted at Malabo in the Bluebird local municipality, recipients were overjoyed with the government's gesture and vowed to put to use the donations they received. As the department will continue with this important food security program. The department does regular community-based research and training to establish areas of service delivery for the department and other stakeholders. In the current financial year, the research unit will be conducting a study entitled "I quote, Factors Associated with the Rising Incidence of Gender-Based Violence and Femicide." For this purpose, 30 research assistants will be employed on a year's contract at a cost of 2 million. Honourable Speaker, I therefore present the 2023-24 budget allocations as follows. Program 1, which is administration, getting 328.5 million. Social welfare services, 468.9 million. Children and families, 669.1 million. Restoration services, 261.7 million. Development research, 217.2 million. And a total of 1.945 billion is therefore allocated to the department to provide all the services that have been already alluded to. Honourable Speaker, the journey to total emancipation by the masses of our people continues. During this year of decisive action to advance people's interests, we will spare no effort in discharging our responsibilities. The sufferings of our people are a constant reminder that as public representatives, we carry the responsibility to provide hope and further to confront difficulties on behalf of our masses. We shall never relent. We need to live with compassion and love as we forge ahead in confronting the many challenges in our midst. Let me take this opportunity to thank our Premier for his compassionate leadership and support, as well as fellow members of the executive. I will be making cardinal mistake if I don't thank and appreciate members of the Portfolio Committee for their guidance and always keeping us on our toes. This is good for our democracy and accountability. Our people deserve nothing but the best of our potential. Honourable Speaker, let me also acknowledge and express gratitude to the head of the department, Mr. Desmond Mahopo, and his executive management who run and monitor the programs of our department in the services of the people of Limpopo. In the same breath, I would like to thank and also appreciate the great teamwork we have with our agencies, SASA and NTA, who play a critical role in the lives of our vulnerable and poor members of our society. With those remarks, I would like to therefore thank you. Thank you
very much, Honourable Team MEC for Social Development. Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. The budget speech is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Social Development for consideration and to report back to the House. We are now moving to 7.1.4. We shall now call upon the Honourable MEC for Health, Honourable MEC Ramatuba, to present the budget speech for concerned Department of Health.
Honourable Speaker and Honourable Deputy Speaker, Honourable Premier, Matawata in absentia, colleagues from the Executive Council, Honourable Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip, Honourable Chair of Chairs and the Deputy Chair of Chairs, our Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health in absentia, Honourable Simon Martin, a speedy recovery to him, leaders of the official opposition, Honourable members of the provincial legislature, our heads of departments, including the DG in absentia, leaders of the religious communities who are here, our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Maccheroni, Amsheni, Toer, Kuyamore, Slochini, good morning. Oh, we are almost afternoon. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the curtain of this sixth administration is surely closing. The journey has been long, rocky, and at times tiring, but most importantly, fulfilling. We come from a dark financial and administrative period, wherein as a department we could not even appoint critical personnel like your nurses, your doctors, your pharmacists, and on a permanent basis. We could not even procure necessary life-saving devices, and our workers were denied tools of trade. We want to thank Team Limpopo, Team Health, for your resilience and endurance in the ensuring that department is kept afloat. We have stabilized our financial outlook and set the department on an upward trajectory. This department will cement the strides we've made over the years and further ignite hope for the future. There's no doubt, Honorable Speaker, that this was the most challenging term for the healthcare sector. This will go down in the annals of history as the administration that was largely disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our healthcare system was tested and stretched to the maximum. It was during this period that the resilience of our public health system was demonstrated. It was during this period that the patriotism and commitment of our public healthcare workers was also demonstrated. The COVID-19 pandemic being a sad and a devastating occurrence, but also for us as a department, it pushes us into finding innovative and creative ways in continuous rendering of healthcare services. It thrusts us, like all sectors, into the fourth industrial revolution, where the use of technology was upscaled. The department had to find new ways of doing things. Our staff training, Honorable Speaker, and staff development was increasingly delivered online. Today, as we speak, our specialists can conduct work rounds with hospitals and doctors in the rural areas through online. Recruitment is also automated and continues to improve on the turnaround time. Just to give an example is that it took us 3 weeks after the approval of the appointment of doctors and nurses that the advertisement, shortlisting, and interviews, some work we could even do on the 24th of December and the 25th of December. Because we managed to do all this online. Hence, by the 1st of January, Limpopo was one of the only provinces which never received doctors marching to the MEC because they were no longer appointed, their contract has come to an end. If we were doing things in the old ways, we would not have been able to appoint them. So, Honorable Speaker, as we continue on our previous commitment of accelerating service delivery, especially to the rural areas, because we are a rural province. Therefore, innovation is key for us. We use technology. The last outstanding CT scan for the people of Limpopo District has been installed and commissioned at St. Rita's Hospital, Maputa Municipality, and it was handed over by both the Minister of Health, Dr. John Parker, and the Premier of this province, Dr. Chukwuma. Now, the people of Limpopo, if they are involved in an accident, this is what it means. They do not have to be transported to Lukwan for us to check if they've got head injuries or not. All the examinations and diagnoses are done in their own district. And through technology, the radiologists are able to interpret while sitting in Petersburg or Mama. Is that not a positive outcome? amongst especially African and Black women. We have lost so many lives of poor and vulnerable women in our province and this country because of breast cancer, due to late diagnosis, because of access to the diagnostic equipment. We made a commitment, and we are pleased to report to this legislature that technology has once more made it possible that we deliver our commitment. We procure those mammograms, and we have installed them in all our 5 districts. With the units, you'll find one in Chipitzini for the people of Remy. You'll find one in Itaba for the people of Mubani. You'll find one in Waterberg, in Mubani for the people of Waterberg. And of course, St. Rita's for the people of Sukuk. And Mangway hospitals for the people of Capricorn. Now, women in our province are encouraged to do this regular check-up. There's no longer an excuse for not doing that. We do not have radiology specialty in some of these facilities, but it is through technology that a woman who's in Chipitzini being examined on the breast by the radiographer, the radiologist in Mangway and Urubani will be able to interpret, and proper diagnosis will be made, and treatment will be able to commence. Therefore, death can be averted. Honorable Speaker, these are some of the life-saving equipment that, if we did not stabilize the finances of this province, and we must appreciate the leadership of Dr. Matawati, because if it was not this resilience of putting system to deal with the finances the way they were spent, this department will not be where it is today. Honorable Speaker, we are currently operating with one magnetic resonance imaging, the MRI machine, which is stationed in Petersburg Tertiary and Academic Hospital. This simply means that when this machine is broken, doctors must pray for the patient. Doctors must see how to finish. That's why you hear other doctors in other parts of this country referring patients to the president, because they will always say, how do you send me to the field without giving me the tools of trade? This has posed a major challenge regarding the turnaround time for patients requiring this service. Teaching and training for both radiologists and radiographers has been very difficult. But like we did with your linear accelerator, like we did with your Lodox for your forensic pathologists, like we did with all the CT scans that were required, like we did with digitalizing all our x-rays in the whole province, we want to make another commitment today that MRI problems will be solved, because 2 more MRI will be required, and we are hoping before the end of this year, because these are quite big and expensive equipment that we find overseas, they will definitely be delivered, because the orders must be issued now, not wait towards the end of the mission. Honorable Speaker, one of the setbacks of service delivery due to COVID-19 was the issue of the backlog, especially on surgical backlog. Because as healthcare providers, our main focus was fighting COVID-19, and other areas of service deliveries were ignored. Hence, we had to find new ways of addressing surgical backlogs. What started with as just a catch-up strategy following the COVID-19 lockdown period is now a unique and a highly successful rural health matters campaign, which is a legacy, and we sustainable make sure that on a monthly basis, specialists visit and identify district and rural hospital, and patients are operated. Since its inception, this campaign, Honorable Speaker, has seen over 6,000 patients benefiting from a variety of surgical procedures. Whether you are talking about those with urogynec problems, women who can't even laugh when we speak, because when they laugh, they pee for themselves. Whether you talk about pediatric surgery, the children who get maxillofacial, gynecologist, orthopedics. This campaign has changed the face of healthcare in our far-flung and rural parts of our province. The rural health matters is made possible through the dedication of the department's own specialists and other health professionals who embark on district surgical outreach every 6 weeks. These professionals are joined by volunteer specialists from other provinces and some from even the private sector. Honorable Speaker, I felt it important so that you allow me to single out one professor, the son of the soil, born and raised in the district of Vende, studied medicine and specialized and came back to this province to serve the people of Limpopo. However, due to the politics of that time, he left the province and ended up in Free State, where today he is the professor and the head of Free State. But because he's the son of the soil, because he's passionate, because he knows his province, since the inception of this rural health, he has performed over 1,600 orthopedic operations, of which 200 are the hip and knee replacement. Honorable Speaker, this operation can cost one patient up to 250,000 if you are to go in private. So the people of Limpopo, we are lucky to have in our midst. I had to invite him so that we can see him, Professor Steve Machins. COVID-19 exposed us our inefficiency in the management of the healthcare system. The WHO defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just the mere absence of disease and infirmity. This means that we must start doing things differently by reverting to basics and focusing on primary health care as our first step. We have declared the year ahead as the year of primary health care. This declaration is not just a mere slogan or a rhetoric without significance. This declaration is a living commitment to build on our existing capacity to prevent disease, to prolong life, and promote a healthy lifestyle amongst the people of Limpopo. We have our fingers firmly on the pulse. We are able to feel the vibrations of life. At the heart of our rejuvenated approach to primary health care is the provision of the 24-hour service at most of our primary health care facilities. We are remodeling our clinics and healthcare centers to be reliable, dependent, and attractive first point of entry to those in need of primary health care. We want our people to believe and have confidence in their local clinics and healthcare centers. Our approach is to reposition the primary healthcare centers as trusted points for routine care, screening, preventative care, and professional medical attention for acute illness and chronic disease management. Through this approach, we aim to broaden access to quality primary health care, reduce the cost of medical care, and most importantly, we aim to alleviate the burden of our hospitals. Hospitals should only deal with serious emergencies and complicated procedures. This will make the entire healthcare value chain to be effective and responsive. It is in this context that we are purposefully building capacity in our local clinics and healthcare centers. This capacity includes the improvement of infrastructure, the recruitment of more nurses, and adequate supply of medicines, especially the children's vaccines. Primary healthcare is the first level of contact between the community and the formal healthcare system. It is the foundation upon which the entire healthcare system relies on an improved health outcomes. In preparation for this deliberate effort to strengthen the base of the healthcare system, the Limpopo Department of Health has, during the last half of the 2022-23 financial year, embarked on several initiatives to ensure that service delivery at primary health care is optimized. To this end, Honorable Speaker, we have since appointed 2 additional suitable, and qualified, and competent primary healthcare facility managers. The department has introduced what we call a competency-based recruitment process to identify suitable candidates. With the capacity to take primary healthcare to the new heights. In this financial year, a further 52 posts of operational managers will be advertised to increase capacity in the largest platform of the health system. We invite all young professional nurses out there, take up this challenge. We want you to fix. Treasury has already approved. Therefore, the advert will be out very soon. Another progressive move was to convene a 9-day seminar capacity building, training and workshop for all operational managers, including those in acting capacity from primary healthcare facilities. We needed to level the playing field so that when we start to ask for accountability, we will have trained you, there won't be any excuses. The training was designed to address service delivery improvement, minimize adverse events that leads to medical legal cases, and close monitoring of medicine stock availability through the stock visibility system. The workshop would not have been complete without empowering them on governance and information management improvement in their respective clinics in an effort to realize a good audit outcome and ultimately improve patient outcome. Tools of trade to facilitate their communication, whether you're talking about your laptops, your smartphones, your tablets, they've been distributed to them. We expect them now to be able to have access to telephonic, internet, and virtual platforms when we need them. This will also aid the referral of patients and soliciting of medical advice from higher levels. Honorable Speaker, the Premier, during the SOPA debate, was very correct and spot on when he said the department was at an advanced stage in activating a number of clinics earmarked for 24 hours. And what he further said, a program which was disrupted by COVID-19. So 2023-2024, being the year of primary health care, means we will be hard at work ensuring successful rollout of 24-hour service. This we will do in collaboration with our traditional leaders, our trade union movement, our community members, and all other stakeholders. Currently, only 50 clinics by March 2023 are operating 24 hours, just only 50, which is followed by 57, which doing some coverage in terms of on-call. We are therefore committing to this August House that we are working towards doubling the number of clinics that will be rendered in 24 hours. At the end of this financial year, we must be able to register around 229 clinics operating 24 hours. We are committing, not promising. We are committing. In order to achieve this objective, we obviously require qualified, dedicated, and passionate admin staff. To date, thank you, Honorable Muleki. The recent recruitment drive brought an additional 278 professional nurses with midwifery on a permanent work base, not contract, to some of these clinic earmarked for reform. Another 300 professional nurses will be recruited in this financial year to further improve the PHC staff. This will go a long way towards strengthening and enabling service delivery across various platforms. Just to illustrate to you, honorable members, already with this 278 that I've spoken, already as we speak, honorable Deputy Speaker, you will be hearing to hear that Masisi and Madibo Clinic started their 24 hours on the 1st of October. So it's swarm clinics in areas which are they've already started 24 hours. And they said to me, by the 1st of May, because there is one clinic which honorable members are interested in seeing it running 24 hours. That is Beggarsford Clinic, which we saw a shameful and I don't even know how to describe when a woman delivered at the gate because a nurse and security guard says it's 6:45, we only open at 7. That clinic, Beggarsford, come the 1st of May, it will run 24 hours. So it's Raj Plus, so is Troy, Muthaleti, Matsipe, Mamulale, and Mata. Just in Sukuku. If you go to Waterberg, Pahame and Bakenberg Clinic have already started 24 hours. So it's Shambhala which will be following there. You go to Mupana. Here, honorable members, when we talk about Mupana, Madumani Clinic in Greater Zanin, it's one of the clinics that was supposed to run 24 hours. Earmarked for the 1st of May. I'm glad the NEC today has brought the men in. We appointed a new nurse who started working there, preparing to run 24 hours. On the way from the taxi to go home, she was raped, assaulted, left to die. She had to call to the nearest household where she was assisted and taken, an ambulance was called. She's not fighting for her life. We have operated on her, but we thank the mighty God because she will recover. But the people in this profession of nurses are saying the community surely have an idea who might be responsible until they help the men to arrest the perpetrator. It's going to be difficult for us to recruit any nurse to work in the Madumani clinic. Therefore, the community must not suffer because of one individual. Let's help the police to arrest this man. He is our son, he is our brother, he is our relative, he is our cousin, he is our boyfriend. We sleep with, drink with him. Let's expose him so that people can get services. But otherwise, Honorable Speaker, Mureki Palabra Clinic will be operating 24 hours starting from the 1st of May. Otherwise, that budget might be withdrawn. Mashishimane Clinic will also fall. You see Lorraine, Willows, Marina, Chadiringane, and many of them. I'm not going to count. Just to demonstrate that we are no longer talking about clinics running 24 hours. We are making a commitment that clinic so and so on this particular day, it's gonna operate 24 hours. Honorable Speaker, change is painful, and unfortunately, for transformation to take off, there must be changes. For primary health care to improve and function better, the Health Department of 2010 must be dismantled and be buried. The Health Department of 2010. The department is focusing on rearranging the management of primary health care services, wherein mobile clinics, community health care workers, fixed clinics will be managed by these operational managers that we are appointing, and will be stationed in a fixed clinic within the geographic area. This will enable the operational manager to oversee mobile services, resulting in resources maximally utilized by effective allocation. A cluster of these clinics will be accountable to a local area manager. Clinics within a certain municipality will be managed and supervised by a district hospital. Therefore, the scope of the CEO will be expanded not to manage the hospital, but all the facilities that are within your municipalities and your area. Consultation regarding these matters are underway. We know there's a lot of resistance, but we are doing this for the sake of the people of Limpopo, because we need to improve service delivery and response time. A pipe burst or blocked at a toilet in report to the district, a plumber police must live here to go. That is why you have problems. So that is why we are changing and bringing this geographic service area. When you hear union says we are changing their working condition, it's when we are bringing geographic service area. To say a clinic in Maholere must be managed by Mkobani and Flotaga Hospital, not to wait for someone from Dimulele, because that is what is causing the challenges that we are facing. The main focus is for us to deliver a preventative healthcare system, mainly communicable and non-communicable diseases, which are responsible for the premature death. While we have seen a reduction on mother-to-child HIV transmission, from we at some stage, you remember, we regressed. Today, we are proud to say we are at 0.59%, meaning the children who are born out of HIV-positive mothers in Limpopo, only 0.59% are positive. And we want honorable members to assist us to deal with this 0.59%, because 99.41% are born HIV negative. What an achievement. But equally, Honorable Speaker, I must raise that we are concerned about our failure to achieve the 1990 target, especially the second 90 and the third one. There are recent reports suggesting that there is an increase in new infections amongst young women and the girl child. It's a problem for us. Working with sister departments, with civil society, with business, under the umbrella of Limpopo AIDS Council, led by our Honorable Premier, we commit towards reduction of the new HIV infection, increasing the number of people who are tested for both HIV and TB, and also increase number of people who are initiated on ARV, so that finally we reduce the viral load. Because if we do that, people are not going to be sick when their viral load is low. But when the viral load is high, that's when they get sick, and unfortunately, they die. The World Health Organization, Honorable Speaker, judges the functionality of the healthcare system by its low maternal and under 5 mortality. It gives us the pleasure to report that our maternal mortality has decreased from 93 per 100,000 deliveries in April 2022 to 75 per 100,000 delivery in February 2023. This is an improvement after a regression that was registered in 2020, 2021, 2022 financial years due to COVID-19. The reduction was made possible by our obstetrics response team, which came up with initiatives focusing on capacity building of our clinicians. While the attitude of staff, I must be honest, Honorable Speaker, is still a challenge within the department, especially when it comes to maternal health services. We must take time to celebrate and appreciate those who go beyond the core of duty. It is against this background that in one of the cities, honorable members came with a member statement congratulating our midwife, Chirilo Papu, who distinguished herself during an emergency when a clinic which does not operate 24 hours, now it's operating 24 hours, was closed, and the woman in labor arrived. Sister Papu, like Florence Nightingale, did not ask any question. Instead, focused on the emergency at hand, which was to deliver the babies. Little did she know that not one, not two, not three, but 4 heads will pop out of that perineum, and all the babies are alive and healthy. With our own Cecilia Makiwa, in my registration with the Health Professional Council for 23 years, I have never seen such deliveries happening in the primary health care. She risked her profession, things could have gone wrong, but she did that because it was the right thing to do, not the right way. The right way might result in death, but the right way results in saving not 4 lives, but 5 lives. How I wish all our nurses can follow here. We had to invite this that honorable member can share lunch with them. Honorable Speaker, an effective and responsive healthcare system means we must have a reliable emergency medical services. And thank you, Honorable Ngagare, for the road. The Honorable Premier's Limpopo administration has consistently over the years insisted that the department must procure a minimum of 50 ambulances annually, owing to the financial constraints and to ensure that the fleet does not collapse. It is my distinct pleasure to inform this August House that this department, as earlier indicated, that we have made tremendous strides in the management of our finances, such that it has become possible to reprioritize where we can within our budget allocation an amount of 500 million, which will augment the 50 million that you allocated as Honorable earmarked for funding the funding of this EMS. So therefore, we commit for the first time in the history of our province, in a single financial year, since the dawn of democracy, that we shall procure 500 emergency medical services. This will simply mean that each crew will be allocated its own ambulance, which will result in accountability and proper care. And together with any president, when we see our ambulance parked in HB, we will make sure people get understand. Because each ambulance will be allocated its own. No longer there are no ambulances, but we want to hear stories by the end of this year. It's a commitment, not a promise. The orders have already been issued. As we commit, we don't promise. You will hear us next year. We'll invite you when we end the book. The Health Professional Council of South Africa is busy with the restructuring of their profession. As we speak, basic ambulance assistant courses will phase out. So is the ambulance emergency assistant. As a province, we are working with different institutions of higher learning towards partnership of this new curriculum. However, as a department, we are proud of some of the personnel who we have amongst the EMS personnel. Whenever there's a disaster, whether it's in the province, whether it's outside the province, they always respond without failing. Our rescue mission team continue to make us proud as a province. Last year, during the KZN floods, they were amongst the first to respond to the call made by the President to go and rescue mission in the KZN. When disaster hits both Turkey and Syria, and the ambassador made a plea for assistance, our selfless warriors did not hesitate. Once more they volunteered and were in the midst of that dangerous situation. They did that all in the name of saving humanity. Allow me to present to you Robert Masubele, Vicky Shipalani, Nicholas Neku, and Lois Maka. Stability in key programs, amongst others, the childhood vaccines, antiretroviral and anti-TB other programs, an amount of 1.849 billion has been allocated just for medicine and a further 217 million towards dry dispensary. Honorable Speaker, the continuous fight of malaria in the province continues. Limpopo remains prone to malaria epidemics, and it has been reported in the past that malaria cases continue to remain at lower level, with the recent 1,745 cases and 24 deaths reported for 2022-2023. Yes. While one death is too many, we must remember where we are coming from. In 2017-18, we recorded 18,977 with 160 deaths. So every year we have been reducing, and we are confident that the numbers will continue to plummet until we record zero malaria-related death. Limpopo province regrets being the leading province in the prevalence of measles, despite fully implementing the extended program on immunization without a charge. Of the 1,095 suspected cases, 347 were confirmed in laboratory and 347 completed by now their isolation period. The positive news is that since the outbreak, healthcare workers manage all cases well. Hence, we have registered zero death. The unfortunate situation that 20 out of the 347 cases are the ones who have been vaccinated, translating to only 5.76%. Hence, we are making a clarion call. We are working with the Department of Basic Education to say all children from the age of 5 to 15 years, can they be brought in for vaccination of measles? We will be going to school now. We will be going to fixed health center. We will even visit churches. We will even visit traditional council to get every child to be vaccinated, because it has proven to us that vaccines prevent disease.
Sure.
Honorable Speaker, once again, our savings case in hand that this vaccination program is made possible by the current 867 COVID-19 contractual vaccination employees, whom the department, we could have said your contract has come to an end. But because of our savings, Treasury did not hesitate to approve that their contract must be extended and they assist us in vaccination of measles. The department has taken note of cholera outbreak in other parts of the country, and our outbreak response team is ready and has a plan in place. We'll be working together with MEC Macau and all our municipalities so that we make it a regular testing of our water, and also put all other modes of surveillance, because our rural province with challenges of water, we might find ourselves in trouble just to have one case of cholera. Those of us who have treated cholera before in this province knows how difficult it is to manage cholera. Health, Honorable Speaker, is one of those sectors that are inherently labor-intensive. Therefore, the structure must address the core business of the department. As we have indicated, we come from a painful past with a structure that was bloated on the top with no foot soldiers. For example, we reported in this August House that the department spends 76% of its budget on compensation of employees, leaving us with just a mere 24% for goods and services. Hence, we couldn't buy this ambulance. Hence, we couldn't buy this equipment, including capital spending, while at the same time, with serious shortages of critical personnel, your nurses, your doctors, your cleaners. We want to report to you, honorable members, that unpopular decisions were taken. Hence, you would see that Fidel Castro House was always receiving memoranda. We took painful decisions, which resulted in us reducing the compensation of employees. The structure that has been reorganized has moved from 8 DDGs to now 4. We are now cutting down generals. You can't have generals without soldiers. Civil was done on chief directors, the work was done on directors. Now we have moved to the district. At the district, we are also looking, for example, Honorable Speaker, you have a system that has a deputy manager specifically for HIV testing, a deputy manager for rolling out ARVs, a deputy manager for condom distribution. Even in finance, splitting of orders is not allowed. You must have one HIV directorate dealing with HIV and TB. And with the threat of now the grants, paper funding going down, we're not going to win. Hence, we have spoken, we are now starting to redistribute because most of them are professional nurses who are trained and on OSD level. They are highly paid managers who will be best suited in managing some of our facilities from primary health care to hospitals. Consultations with relevant stakeholders will continue, and we are going to implement, and there's going to be another memorandum for our removal, but we are doing this for the people of this province. Honorable Speaker, the war against medical legal problems continues. An interesting development in the area of in this area is the Noila case in the Eastern Cape, where the judge ordered that the Department of Health must provide some of the services that are required by the successful applicant, instead of the department being required to pay a huge amount for future medical care. What was happening, Honorable Speaker, is that the department will pay 45 million. The following day, that child is consulting in Mandarin Hospital. And we felt this was a victory to say if the department can prove that they can provide services for this child, there's no need to give those lump sum. But because people know that this case can close the tap, they are bringing all the top law firms in the country to challenge this judgment. How I wish the judge who is going to listen to the appeal can be as sober as a judge and rule in our favor, because that would be the end of the abuse. The reality is that, Honorable Member, that child who was awarded 45 million hardly see that money. The bulk of it goes to the lawyer, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Deputy Chair of Chairs. So the department has halved its medical legal to 7 billion by changing accounting methods. The campaign continued with the launch of the first series of conferences of medical legal matters that are aimed at identifying the root cause of the problem with a view of prevention of the new cases, as well as cascading the management of these cases to lower level. A program of district visit has been developed and will be rolled out. During the 2023 year, the department appointed 3 heads of clinical department, 2 heads of clinical units, and 23 medical specialists. This will provide the province. We are currently training 124 registrars. These are the doctors who are training to be specialists, so that they can assist in the quality of care, which is part of reducing of this medical legal claim. Honorable Speaker, we are proud to announce that finally the contractor has been appointed by the National Department of Health, as presented by the Premier, to resume the construction of the long-awaited Limpopo Academic and Central Hospital. These facilities will require highly specialized professionals, since we will be expected to render services, amongst others, organ transplant. Hence, the department has embarked on a 4-year strategy to prepare for this case. To this end, the province plans on building up the numbers of we have to have more 240 local registrars by 2025. In addition, the department will send supernumerary registrars to other universities to augment the number of specialists that we require. As we speak, Professor Steve Machizo, whom I've introduced, has already taken some of our students. I don't know, 3, I forgot the number, 3 of them has now completed. For instance, the protocols that you have in Mubani, which have been trained by him, and they come back. There is now an orthopod here in Limpopo. He has been trained by him. He has now taken a lady, probably we will have a female orthopedic surgeon by the time she finishes. So we want to to expand this not only to orthopedics but to all our specialties, so that in 4 years' time, when our hospital is here, we have the skills that will be able to utilize. It doesn't assist to have that building without the skills. Honorable Speaker, we observed a rise in the number of unnatural deaths in the province, and majority of those cases are attributed to the behavior of members of the society, particularly as the MEC for Transport always say and community safety. The road accident, traffic accident, most of them are as a result of our behavior as members and interpersonal violence. We have a total of 5,473 deceased persons that were subjected to medical legal investigation through forensic pathology services. This is 290 more than the previous years, because here you are talking about all forensic pathology, not just the road accident. Some people are stabbing each other in the section after drinking. So we are seeing interpersonal violence increasing. The service is experiencing currently pressure, and it has resulted in the rise of number of cases that is not proportional to the available resources. And this will be considered as an area of priority this year. As a result, forensic pathology services have been overstretched, and they have managed, but still managed to render services under those circumstances. This service continues to excel in the delivery of autopsies in high-volume incidents within relatively short periods. We must remember, while forensic pathologists to most of you may not be visible, and they are not the celebrated doctors, because you don't consult them, you must remember they might be your voice when you cease to exist. They might be your advocate when justice needs to be served on you. So that's why we must celebrate them today under the leadership of Dr. Takadu Mamashela, the man who, whenever there's a major accident, he will throw his diary and run to the scene and run to the hospitals and perform autopsies on his own, personal. Whether it was in Kiltin, whether it was in Florida, wherever, he leaves his diary. It doesn't say I'm a manager. So Dr. Mamashela, the people of Limpopo appreciate you, even if we don't consult you, but we appreciate you. Health infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, is one of the building blocks of critical pillars of healthcare delivery, and it's a specialized kind of infrastructure. Hence, as a department, we spend a lot of time building in-house capacity to make sure that we realize this objective. Working with our sister department, Public Works, there are areas where, as a department internally, we had to focus on. For instance, in this past financial year, we managed to renovate one of the old dilapidated ones. We repurposed it in Petersburg Hospital to become a state-of-the-art ICU with 17 completed 17 beds with state-of-the-art technology. The Mangwe Hospital also has completed the maintenance and refurbishment of some of the following sections: their theater, their OPT, their Tuzela, and their ICU. We managed this because the Matamata administration managed to save resources. All this is made possible for the sole purpose of the making sure that our patients are treated in a place that is safe and preserve the dignity, because the ANC government, when it goes on campaign, it was clear that we will deliver quality health care. We have handed over a state of maternity ward in every Rodendal hospital with a theater, and work is in progress to complete a neonatology and pediatric ward. At the end of the day, honorable members, we want to have a maternal and child percent, because President Oliver Regional Tambo said, a nation that doesn't look after children doesn't deserve a future. So as a Department of Health, we are key, starting from a pregnant woman up to a child who is born. So you there are incubators next to when the baby grow up and they're still in the same cell. Nursing colleges, Honorable Speaker, are also not left behind. Today, the department has completed the refreshment of Kiani Nursing College Resident Block D. This comes at the right time, now that the department has received our accreditation by the South African Nursing College Council to train professional nurses on a new curriculum. The first group started last month of 118 students, and they will continue until they complete and join. And on an annual basis, we will be training our nurses. Honorable members, it is through your oversight visit that you visited Nobel Hospital in support as a committee. You visited Nobel Hospital and reported to the NEC that there is a serious challenge. We went there like the servants who always listen. And as I speak today, that male ward, that female wards, that storm damaged staff houses, that laundry, that stores, that kitchen, all of them, houses 1, 2, 3, and 9 have been completed. They are now being utilized. And other areas, we are working on them. Just in 1 year, we have completed this. I think it's an achievement. Major repairs and maintenance are also completed in Zaba and Mutiweli clinics. Environmental maintenance and repairs were also completed in other 142 facilities. We are having challenges because we depend on underground water. And due to the aggressive nature of the water, we have to attend to the water softening plants, and we have started that work because unfortunately it damages most of our equipment, especially in our laundry and clinic level. So as part of clinic 24-hour clinic services, we have already also prioritized palisading as security offenses. I won't mention all these clinics, but your Mudimedi, your Sekhale, your Blake Reed, Mama, there are many clinics that were finished in 1 financial year. We are also pharmaceutical units that require extra rooms for storage. We have been able to provide 12 prefabs in different facilities. Your Elisras, George Massere, Vetport, Kapani, Van Velden, Litaba, Malamune, just to expand the storage. As a count, and indeed as a province, we continue to grapple with the effects of load shedding. The department has invested in the procurement of standby generator to curtail the impact of our facility. The Limpopo Department of Health has delivered generators for installation, connected and stationed in 7 facilities: Musina, Eushaken, JFS, Global Healthcare Center, Vetport, Dr. C.N. Patuli, and David's Grove. All these generators are new, and the upgrades were connected to some existing generators. But in addition to that, we have procured 90 more mobile generators, capacity from 500 to 800 kVAs. I'm thinking about those engineers. We procured them. And out of this 19, 17 have already been delivered. And some will be stationed in head office so that when there's a breakdown in St. Patrick, there's a generator that is known and assist. If there's a breakdown in Philadelphia, we don't have to wait, they must be taken. So currently, we have now just taken 1 generator to Kopani because there was a breakdown. And another one, it's going to FHLNDI because we are worried about the lifespan of that generator. So the department is also looking at other alternative ways of energy supply. The supply of inventors in the facilities. The heat pumps for boiling water, of which the department has done energy workload study to determine the sizes of the batteries to be installed. The project will be rolled out in a few facilities as a pilot project. Following the pronouncement by the Premier Honorable Speaker on the installation of solar panels, the department has already started with conducting all preliminary works and await guidance from the Provincial Treasury and Office of the King. And we are also proud and pleased to announce that we are not the department that folded their arms and wait for Premier's office and treasury. We have already contacted the Minister of Electricity, and our team and his team has already met, and work is going on. So the department has prioritized revenue collection as the only alternative source to augment its budget deficit over the medium-term expenditure framework. Through the implementation of revenue enhancement strategy and continuous support from provincial treasury, we are pleased to report to this August House that the department managed to surpass the third quarter revenue target of 193,791,000. We hope to sustain this, but unfortunately, the current public perception that health services are for free to all who visit the facility, irrespective of what case you are coming from, irrespective of who you are, where you are coming from, unfortunately, it's gonna drag us back. Because second quarter we didn't do well, but for obvious reasons, third quarter we did well. This is incorrect as patients are categorized in terms of their affordability. Members of the community that fall within paying categories, including those with medical aids, are urged to pay for the public health services they receive in our health facility. And this will contribute to the funding of the health services in our province. The public is, however, informed that services are still free at primary health care facilities, such as your clinics, your mobile clinics, your gateway, and your health center. We call all our communities to visit these facilities for their well-being. Free services have also been extended to all COVID-related and mental health services at hospital level and the low-income group, unemployed, and those who are not members of the medical scheme. This financial year should allow us to perform the platform to continue to build the efficient, effective, comprehensive, and inclusive healthcare system capable of delivering on the promises we made to the people of Limpopo. We will do this guided by the oath and promise to meet the electoral, constitutional, and legislative mandates given to us by the people of our province. This budget should propel us to new heights of service delivery. It should resonate with the expectation of the people of Limpopo and assist in meeting their health needs. Honorable Speaker, allow me to present the budget breakdown for the Survey of Health 2023. Overall budget for book has increased by 4.6% from 2022-2023 main appropriation and increased by 0.8% from adjusted appropriation. Within this location, equitable share grows by 7.1% from main appropriation, whereas conditional grant decreases by 6.4%. The increase of equitable share is towards stabilizing the baseline from the previous NTF reduction. Equitable share increased by 3.7% from the 2022-2023 adjusted allocation, whereas conditional grants decreased by 11.7% from the 2022-2023 adjusted allocation. The decrease in the conditional grants is due to discontinuation of COVID-19 fund. COVID-19 activities will be rendered within the total allocated budget of the department. In monetary terms, the total budget increases from the budget allocation of 23.6 billion 2022-2023 to 23.8 billion 2022-2024. The total allocation increased by an average of 3.5% over the medium-term expenditure framework. Honorable Speaker, I am therefore honored that indeed a privilege to table this noble House the budget book 7 for 2022-2023 to the value of 23.8 billion, which consists of 19.6 billion equitable share, 3.9 billion conditional grants, and 210.5 million own revenue. Honorable Speaker, the budget has been allocated for Program 2 District Health Services, 12.6 billion, 2.9 billion for regional tuberculosis and psychiatric hospital, and the allocation is important for the provision of specialized healthcare services, not primarily rendered in district hospitals as well as primary health care. Malaria control, 73 million and from equitable share. Furthermore, an amount of 65.2 million has been allocated within the conditional grant. Comprehensive HIV and AIDS program, including TB, has been provided 1.9 billion. 1.3 billion has been set aside for running of EMS services in the province. Included is the allocation, in the allocation is an amount to purchase those 500 ambulances. Tertiary services in the province has been provided 2.1 billion. This service continue to be provided in Petersburg and Mount Hospital. An amount of 851.6 million has been allocated to health infrastructure to continue with Nobel and other hospitals. An amount of 97.93 million has been set aside for training of health professionals as part of commitment to reduce the vacancy rate and category. The amount also covers the medical students who are currently in Cuba, Limpopo Medical Schools, and also the nursing students and other medical schools in the country. Honorable Speaker, in order to maintain the stock levels at our clinics, health centers, and hospitals, an amount of 1.8 billion medicine has been allocated. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I remain internally grateful for the continued support and confidence that I received from my colleagues in the Executive Council, led by the Premier in the execution of my responsibility. The Premier is also central in guiding us to spend our budget allocation efficiently and within the principles of the Public Finance Management Act. A special thanks goes to the Portfolio Committee on Health for their robust, frank, and constructive engagement and continuous oversight. We must also take this opportunity, painful as it is, to thank the Standing Committee on Public Accounts for ensuring that what we do is within the proper and constitutional framework. Our gratitude goes to our acting HOD, Dr. Mtewa, and all the head generals, from the DDGs to a district executive manager, to a hospital CEO, clinical manager, nursing service manager, clinic managers, all of you. This work is possible because of the sleepless nights you spent in the Department of Health. You have put so much effort to ensure that our loyalty to this government and the people of Limpopo remains intact and unquestionable. Let me also thank my family, my mother, my 2 children, my siblings, for being there, especially they're the ones who suffer the most when I'm not available to be with them. When I miss those school activities, it is painful on our members. But sometimes they get to have their aunts and their uncles to be continuously saying, Mommy will be back one day, and one day she'll be back. Let me conclude by drawing from an astute revolutionary, the former president of Burkina Faso, a Pan-Africanist, Thomas Sankara, who said, open quote, you cannot carry out fundamental change without a certain amount of madness. In this case, it comes from non-conformity, the courage to turn your back from the old forms, the courage to invent the new future. Besides, it took the madmen of yesterday, of us, for us to be able to act with extreme clarity today. So I want to be one of those madmen for the sake of the health of the people of Limpopo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MC. The budget speech is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Health for consideration and to report back to their house. We are moving to 7.1.5. We shall now call upon the Honorable the Speaker, Honorable Mulabo R, to present the budget speech for Vote 2, Limpopo Legislature. Order, honorable members, order.
Presiding Officer, Deputy Speaker, Honorable Matibe, Premier of the Limpopo Province, Honorable Stellich Matabata, members of Executive Council, Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Mahonyana, Deputy Chief Whip, Mayor Machadi, Leader of Government Business, Honorable MEC Swati, leaders of the opposition parties, Honorable Baraka, Honorable Ismail, and Honorable Maris, Chair of Chairs, Honorable Nyamani, Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable Segani, Chairs of Committees, Chairperson of the Oversight Mechanism, Honorable Mariel Khanyani, Honorable members of this House, Acting Secretary to the Limpopo Legislature, Dr. Isaac Mukuna, Senior Management and officials of the Limpopo Legislature, HODs of various departments present here today, distinguished guests, members of the public in the gallery, media houses, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to address you on this special occasion marking the tabling of the Limpopo Legislature 2023-2024 budget speech before this honorable House. This budget is presented in this month of April following the celebration of key milestones, Human Rights Day and International Women's Month in March. Noting the significance of these events is crucial as the history of this country is inarguably shaped and defined by the anti-apartheid struggle which laid the groundwork of the democracy we experience today. The trial of 22 in 1969 illuminates the role of women in the anti-apartheid struggle when they were dramatically put out of their homes during ungodly hours by the security branch to be imprisoned without trial in the most horrendous conditions. The gender-specific oral and written stories of the threats and torture are better narrated by the Limpopo women and mothers such as Lydia Komari, Sarah Muswani, Sophia Matsimela, Maria Makolwani, Mazatsin Chabeleni, Bayese Shibwani, and Jos Mashamba. Shanti Naidu vividly illustrates some of these in her book entitled Women in Solitary, Inside the Female Resistance to Apartheid. Honorable members, in honor of these heroines of the anti-apartheid struggle, we must therefore strive to create better conditions for our people than the horrendous struggles and suffering experienced by these anti-apartheid heroines. The historical context I alluded to inspires the budget vote I'm presenting to this August House today, creating a better life for all through effective oversight. Being the vanguard of the people, we have the constitutional responsibility to exercise oversight over the executive to ensure that they deliver on the promises made to the citizens. We are therefore obligated to subject to scrutiny the annual performance plans tabled by the executive to ensure that these plans reflect the objectives set in our manifesto to create a better life for all. This means that our oversight must move away from routine to be purposive, program or project orientated. To this end, oversight should focus on key priorities areas, specific government programs, plans and projects, including the implementation of conditional grants by the various executive organs. Our Honorable Premier Stanley Matabata, in his State of the Province address, indicated that economic recovery of the province will be guided by specific plans, National Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan, and the Limpopo Socio-Economic Recovery Plan. Through these plans, our deliverables should be measured against the attainment of an inclusive developmental economy. These pronouncements are very useful not only for oversight
but to measure the progress and strides that the province has made thus far. Key to the socio-economic recovery plan is the support to SMEs and cooperatives, procurement from local business, and recognition of local manufacturers must be adhered to as a way in which the government can contribute to economic growth and job creation. As an oversight body, we are therefore pleased that the Limpopo provincial government has allocated 14.195 billion for goods and services and 2.667 billion for capital projects during the 2023-2024 financial year. And this will go a long way in alleviating poverty in Limpopo. It will be important for the relevant portfolio committees of the legislature to monitor the expenditure of these funds and ensure that businesses owned by women, youth, and people with disabilities benefit from the procurement. Our oversight must therefore shift from routine issues to bread and butter, issues to ensure that our oversight is developmental in approach. Honorable members, Thomas Kuhn, in his famous book, I quote, "The structure of the scientific revolution theorized of the need for a paradigm shift or movement from one level of scientific knowledge to the other. The legislature should therefore strive to enhance its oversight by shifting from generalized oversight towards project or program-specific approach, which will improve the lives of the people that we represent." Honorable members, there is an emerging discourse in South Africa on moral and ethical leadership as deliberated in the South African Association of Public Administration conference held in 2022. Ethical leadership is a very important component of government, especially in the executive department and municipalities. Ethical leadership promotes good corporate governance by paying attention to standards of good value. Our Committee on Ethics and members' interest is functional and well-versed to deal with all ethical-related issues and declaration of interest. Honorable members, oversight is one of the core mandates that the legislature exists to fulfill as provided for in our Constitution. Reflecting on the significance of oversight, a French political scientist, historian, and politician, Alexis de Tocqueville, once remarked the following: "As I see it, only God can be all-powerful without danger, because his wisdom and justice are always equal to his power. Thus, there is no authority on earth invested with a right so sacred that I would want to let it act without oversight or rule without impediment." Honorable members, our responsibility to exercise oversight is fundamental to the protection of the resources that the public has entrusted us with. It is a responsibility that we cannot fail on due to the fact that we are the representatives of the public. Hence, whenever there is anything that involves the public, we must pursue it with vigor. The South African-born American entrepreneur Elon Musk expresses this even more sufficiently when he remarked that, "I think whenever there is something that affects the public good, then there is a need to be some form of public oversight." Close quote. As the representatives of the people entrusted with the power to oversee public goods and services on behalf of the electorates, we cannot fail in this mission. Our action or inaction may have implications regarding the betterment of people's lives or aggravating their already debilitating living conditions. In either case, through our action or inaction, we remain accountable to the people as shown by the following ways by John Stuart Mill. the English philosopher and political economist, I quote, "A person may cause evil to others not only by his action, by his inaction, and in either case, he is justly accountable to them for the injury." Close quote. Honorable members, taking the lead from the words of the President Ramaphosa during his State of the Nation address, while reflecting on the challenges facing our nation, he remarked that we cannot proceed as we usually would. The people of South Africa want action. They want solution and they want government to work for them. Close quote. It is the spirit outlined by our President that we must embody as the representative of the people. Honorable members, to this end, the legislature would like to appreciate the work done by our portfolio committees in exercising robust and effective oversight over the executive departments. We continue to pride ourselves as an oversight body of the constituency in performance as demonstrated by the following institutions in our province. Provincial Treasurer was able to obtain clean audit opinion for 6 consecutive years. Office of the Premier obtained clean report for 3 consecutive years. Economic Development, Environment and Tourism obtained clean audit for 2 consecutive years. And Limpopo Game Report obtained clean audit for 3 consecutive years. This is the result of the hard work informed by moral and ethical leadership of men and women in various structures within and outside this department. The audit committees, internal audit committees, risk management, senior management, CFOs, HODs, and portfolio committees. We also want to applaud and thank the work of Chapter 9 institutions, especially the Auditor General, for continually working together with the legislature to assist our portfolio and standing committee in holding the executive accountable. There is power in collaboration, working together with all structures to continue to enhance our oversight initiatives. In line with this principle, we appreciate the efforts of our committees in conducting oversight and robustly engaging with the executive as required by the Constitution. For instance, in the previous financial year, we had 62 oversight committee meetings through which we produced 126 oversight reports detailing our findings and recommendations to the House. The legislature continues to play its oversight role of holding the executive authority accountable through the public hearing processes. In this regard, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts has made a great stride on its oversight work and is currently processing the 2021-2022 financial year audit outcomes and annual report of all provincial department and public entities. The committee is continuing with more public hearings in the 23-24 financial year to hold the executive accountable. Honorable members, information sharing and capacity building programs are central to the empowerment of MPEX. SCOPA has been playing a crucial role in supporting the MPEX in the province through the provincial MPEX forums and other strategic sessions so far. Vemba District Municipality, Makalo Local Municipality, Musina Local Municipality, Waterberg District and Mobani District Municipality, and Rapalabra had benefited from the support of the SCOPA. The legislature encouraged all the MPEX in the province to engage with SCOPA on its programs to enhance oversight and financial accountability. SCOPA in the province will lead the processes of re-establishing the National Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Honorable members, the legislature through the Portfolio Committee on Education made several site visits to various schools in our province. We applaud the improvement in the grade 12 final year result from 66.7% in 2021 academic year to 72.1% in 2022 academic year. This represents 5.4% increase as compared to the last academic year. The improvement in grade 12 outcomes provides an important epistemological access to higher attempts to address what Jonathan Kossel calls savage inequalities in our schooling system. Members of the legislature, working within the parameters of the ethnographic approach, visited public schools and all special schools in Capricorn, Sikukuni, and Waterberg district to gather first-hand information in an attempt to answer the questions: what constitutes a good school? The challenges facing these schools were also mapped out, and strides are being made to find better ways to improve the conditions in these schools. The Portfolio Committee on Education was able to visit some of the following schools for oversight on their infrastructure: Malamulela High School, Lwapungu Secondary School, and Ratseke Primary School. It is encouraging to note that the department has significantly attended to the infrastructural challenges that were facing these schools. Honorable members, several oversight visits by the Portfolio Committee on Sports, Arts and Culture to various libraries enabled the committee to engage with communities on the challenges facing these facilities. During these oversight visits, contractors and service providers indicated the significance of ensuring good quality and completing infrastructure projects on time. Through its mandate of establishing an effective, safe, and affordable transport system, the Portfolio Committee on Transport conducted such visits to various traffic control centers, weight bridges. This includes Manzule, the Limpopo biggest weight bridge in N1 near Belabena. The one north of Polokwane situated along the R101 and adjacent to the N1. Sebetiela in N1 adjacent to Nail Plaza, and Ratoke on N11 near Marble Mall. The facilities check compliance of goods, vehicles and passengers transport in terms of National Road Traffic Act. So once a vehicle is non-compliant, the vehicle is detained to allow for load corrections. Fines are issued to transgressors, and the Portfolio Committee on Transport found out that overloaded vehicles uses various escape roads such as R01, R37 the Wahomu, and R576 Dentro. Our province is mainly plagued by large vehicles involved in accidents, especially along N1, which is a huge concern to us. All of these matters require effective monitoring and agent intervention to minimize the challenges ahead. In collaboration with the Department of Transport, our Portfolio Committee on Transport make efforts from time to time, especially during major holidays like Easter and Christmas, to monitor the situation on our roads. In the previous financial year, the legislature concluded 16 site visits, and it is still the legislature's plan to intensify on-site visits by, among others, embarking on oversight to the Limpopo border post to observe the state and functionality of infrastructure. These visits will also assist in establishing and assessing the capacity of SAPs and vehicle deployment at the border post. It is during such ventures that the issue of undocumented immigrants may also explode, as it has implication on the provincial budget and the division of revenue. Honorable members, the audit outcomes for municipalities in Limpopo have significantly improved in the 2021-2022 financial year. Moreover, as per legislature's resolution, there is a reduction in the number of municipalities using consultants to prepare annual financial statements, and this is important. The legislature will continue to perform its oversight function on municipalities through the provisions set by the law to ensure that services are delivered to the people. municipalities account directly to the municipal council and can only account to the legislature through the relevant department of local government. In terms of the MFMA, Section 133, and the Municipal System Act, Section 47, the MEC for Coxstar has the responsibility to table to the legislature the following: audit outcomes of the municipalities, consolidated report on the performance of the municipalities in the province. In terms of MSMA, Section 47. Following from this provision and based on the outcome of the State of Municipalities report, Greater Tzaneen, Lepelle Nkumpi, Mogalakwena, Mutimule Mokopong, Bilabila and Mopani accounted to the legislature through Coxstar. The indirect intervention of the legislature in the work of the municipalities is also enhanced through capacity building initiatives that are offered to MPEX. Honorable members, the legislature is committed through effective oversight and collaboration to ensure that the economic development of the province is enhanced. The Portfolio Committee on Economic Development has managed to engage with LEADER and all its subsidiaries and divisions on their financial status and strategic plans. Drawing from these, oversight visits were conducted in the Musina Makalo SEZ and Vitafong Tubat's SEZ. Sepong and Spartan mines and recommendations were made to ensure that local communities are empowered through procurement, skill development and transfer. Honorable members, during the National Council of Provinces Week, the legislature visited infrastructure development and agricultural project in the Sukuni district. The targeted project include the Flag Bushero Dam, Duguap Dam, Dombisileka College of Agriculture, and irrigation schemes such as Mohalachari, State Road Drift, and Jolepin. Other infrastructure projects comprise the following: the Dubatsisene Lane Bridge, Thorncliffe, Low-Lying Bridge, Maroga Bulk Water Supply, abandoned B44 Joining Road in Atop. And during this visit, recommendations were made by the NCOP, and the MECs made commitments towards the implementation of this project. This oversight engagement has yielded positive results, and recent reports suggested that there is progress, particularly on the Steel Boat Bridge, as the MEC of Public Works said earlier. Which is critical in the socio-economic development and implementation of the Limpopo Special Economic Zone. The legislature conducted oversight visit in Vembe district, in Doveni irrigation scheme, Nwaneti Pack House and Farms, Matsika Banana Project, and Matsibandela College. In Waterberg district, the legislature visited various projects such as Bakotudi Cooperatives, Rijare Namile Cooperatives, Halikuwe Poultry, Botswana Loan Project, Colchester Livestock, and African Cattle Project. Some of the recommendations by the Legislature Portfolio Committee on Agriculture included that the department addresses the challenges of farmer support, water rights, alternative energy sources, and also ensuring that farmers introduce younger generation in the agri businesses. A follow-up joint committee and stakeholder visit took place in Matiani village in order to address the issue of stock theft affecting communities closer to the Kruger National Park. While some issues have not been fully addressed, it is encouraging to see the provincial government's response on the foot and mouth disease, as well as feeding of veterinary posts. there is still a need to address other stakeholders such as some parks, farmers and traditional leaders. As an oversight body, the legislature remains resolute that catalytic projects such as Mahua Tea Estate, Sebedela Citrus, Nojet's Tomato Paste, Liwahomo Abattoir, the Science and Technology Park should be resuscitated for the purposes of local economic development. The legislature visited reserves such as Potlake, John Dry Dam, nature reserves, and Magapans Bay World Heritage Site. Key challenges identified were that there were infrastructural damages in most reserves. The legislature recommends that a conservation budget be allocated to ensure that the reserves remaining attractive in order to yield the necessary benefit to the local economy. Honorable members, all of the initiatives I have outlined thus far serve as the testimony that the legislature is at work. We are committed through the effective oversight and working together with our provincial government to ensure that services are delivered to our people. Honorable members, Section 118, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa requires a provincial legislature to facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the legislature and its committees. This is one of the fundamental roles that enables the citizen to meaningfully partake in our legislative processes. It is during these interactions with the legislature that citizens are given an opportunity to make their inputs and some instances obtain feedback on the progress regarding petitions submitted. In order for public participation to be effective, the citizen must be well informed in order for them to make meaningful contributions. Thomas Jefferson, an American statesman and diplomat, captures the essence of educating the citizens in a truly democratic state. An enlightened citizenry is indispensable for the proper function of a republic. Self-government is not possible unless the citizens are educated sufficiently to enable them to exercise oversight. It is therefore imperative that the nation sees to it that a suitable education be provided for all its citizens. This view is amplified by Africa's acclaimed literary genius, Chinua Achebe, having observed challenges facing African democracies, remarked that a functioning, robust democracy requires a healthy, educated, participatory followership. Close quote. Citizens who are well informed regarding legislative processes are key for the survival and sustainability of democracy and accountability. It is for this reason why the legislature continues to run educational workshops on the role and responsibilities of the legislature. The COVID-19 presented a challenge in the previous financial years, but however, we have since made strides with more than 5 workshops having been conducted thus far. This workshop will even be more critical as we approach the general elections next year. The Limpopo Petitions Act provides for members of the community to write a petition to the Committee on Petitions and Public Participation to express their concern regarding matters relating to service delivery. In collaboration with the relevant government departments or executive organs, the legislature has demonstrated its commitment of being the vanguard of the people, as can be illustrated by initiatives undertaken in the following matters involving ordinary citizens of our provinces. Furthermore, in line with the spirit of our Constitution, to reach out the public, the Limpopo Legislature has ensured that, among others, the following engagement with the public were undertaken. The committee conducted public outreach sessions in Zanani village and Toyando, where educators, members of the school governing body, school principals and school management teams from Bembe, East and West circuits participated. The legislature also held various sectoral parliaments. The Women Parliament and Parliament for the Elderly were successfully held in our legislative chambers. It is through these sectoral parliaments that the legislature afforded individuals and groups for different sectors the opportunity to discuss matters affecting them. Sectoral parliamentary sessions are therefore useful mechanism to promote and enhance participatory democracy. In this financial year, we are planning to continue with our program of having sectoral parliaments and educational workshop to educate the public on the rules and responsibilities of the legislature to enable them to participate effectively in our processes. Honorable members, lawmaking is one of the core mandates of the legislature. The legislature successfully supported the National Portfolio Committee on Basic Education in conducting public hearings on basic education law amendment in Vembe, Mopani, Capricorn, Sukun and Waterberg district. Public hearings were successfully conducted and were covered on different media platforms and were well attended by members of the public, organizations and forums. The legislature recognized the importance of capacity building of its workforce in order to fulfill the core mandate outlined in the budget speech. In addition to the provision of the bursary support to staff and honorable members who are studying with various institutions, capacity building and training workshops have been facilitated in the previous financial year. These are ongoing initiatives to ensure that both staff and honorable members are well capacitated to fulfill their functions and responsibilities. Having outlined our key achievements and areas of focus in this budget speech, we remain resolute that we will use the available human and financial resources to vigorously pursue our core mandates and priorities as outlined in our annual performance plan, as tabled in this House in March 2023. Honorable members, the total budget allocated for the Limpopo Legislature for the 2023-2024 financial year is 494.4 million of the equitable share. This budget shows an increase of 1.3% when compared to the prior year allocation. The slight increase is due to a correction of the shortfall on the compensation of employees allocation. The budget as presented will be utilized to cover employee costs, goods and services, capital expenditure, as well as support to political parties. The budget is allocated to the three main programs of the legislature as follows. Program 1, which is administration. This program has been allocated 181 million in the 23-24 financial year in order to provide strategic leadership and administrative support to the entire legislature. Program 2, which is the facilities for members and political party support. Facilities for members and political parties has been allocated 192.7 million in the 23-24 financial year to provide compensation of members and support to political parties. Allocation to Program 2 includes the direct charge of 52.5 million for the remuneration of members, as well as amount of 119.3 million as required by Section 34, subsection 5 of the Financial Management of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act. This 119.3 million will be transferred to political parties for constituency allowance and political party support. Program 3, Parliamentary Services. Parliamentary Services has been allocated a total of 118.7 million in the 2023-2024 financial year to provide services related to oversight, public participation and lawmaking. As I conclude, honorable members, this budget speech, let me take this opportunity to thank honorable members of this legislature for their support. I acknowledge the work of the oversight mechanisms led by Honorable Lekhanyan for your oversight role. I also like to thank the acting secretary to the Limpopo Legislature, Dr. Isaac Mbula, and the management for your commitment in fulfilling your responsibilities. Honorable members, it is my honor and privilege to table the Limpopo Legislature 2023-2024 budget vote to this House. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. The budget speech is referred to the Oversight Mechanism Committee for consideration and to report back to their House. Item 8, Chair of Chairs, announcement.
Committees are employed to stick to their schedule and their time frames for the conclusion of the budgetary process by the end of June 2023. The last announcement, Honorable Speaker, lunch for honorable members will be served in the main boardroom committee services and all guests will be served in the basement taking in block 1. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. The House is adjourned to Tuesday, 13 June 2023 at 10 o'clock in this Limpopo Legislative Chamber. Thank you very much. The House is adjourned.